is on the air. Broadcasting live on the Fanatic app and YouTube channel. Here are your hosts, John Kincade and Andrew Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
And with the 22nd overall pick in the first round of the 2026 NBA draft, what did Adam Silver call them?
The Philadelphia 70 selectors.
The Philadelphia 70 selectors draft the guy to replace the guy they traded for the 22nd overall pick.
I said it yesterday, and I didn't say it jokingly, that they were going to replace the draft pick that they traded away.
Yeah, good morning. It is Kincade Salciunas.
Thank you, buddy.
That's John Kincade.
How you doing, man? The only reason I said it is because I looked at just everything I read about the draft, because I know nothing about the majority of those players that were being picked in that era. I didn't in that neighborhood. But everything I was reading was like, that was what was going to be available in that time frame.
Yeah. And
that was where the value was. And I like the pick,
all right?
right?
So let's break this down, because all jokes aside, like I can make the Jared McCain jokes all day today. And
you
spoiler
can.
alert, I will. For
By the
4
way, you
hours,
can.
there will be Jared McCain jokes.
You
But
had him.
Let's get this out of the way. Mike Yancey has nothing to do with Jared McCain.
Nothing at all.
Mike Yancey had nothing to do with the 22nd overall pick other than making the selection of the pick that he walked into when he was hired by the Philadelphia 76ers. So there's no, like...
He's not to blame. He's trying to clean up. He's trying to clean up a mess.
Right, exactly. So Mike Yancey comes here. He looks at the state of the Philadelphia 76ers roster. He sees that there were 2 playable guards from an offensive standpoint on the Philadelphia 76ers in this past playoff, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe. Quentin Grimes played minutes, but he did nothing for them offensively, and who knows what his future is. He's currently a free agent. We'll see if they even bring him back. And so he's looking around and goes, all right, I need guards because they don't have any. We have Kyle Lowry around, but we need a guy that can actually play. And, oh, by the way, this guy can score, so let's select Labaron Philon out of Alabama with the 22nd overall pick. That had nothing to do with Daryl Morey. It's Mike Yancey's selection. It's Bob Myers' selection. Remember, Bob Myers, during his introductory press conference, the very last question was the one that I actually cared about. Everything else I didn't care about because he wasn't going to say anything about Joel Embiid or Paul George. But when they asked him about big three, like in terms of contracts versus not having 3 max contracts and having depth, he said that depth is important. Depth wins in the NBA, which they did not have last year.
No, they had no depth. And if they had not traded, and again, if they had not traded away Jared McCain, they would not have been in the play-in tournament.
Sure.
They would have been absolutely not a play-in team. They were there because of the fact that they traded away a valuable piece that they didn't need to trade away.
Exactly. It was the unnecessary trade. That's what it always comes back to. But here we are. The Sixers make the trade. So Mike Yancey goes, I have nothing to do with that. I'm going to try to do what's best for the Sixers. Yeah,
right?
no.
I mean, I like the fact that he's doing his thing, and he doesn't really care about what happened in the past before he got here.
Right.
He's doing what he thinks is the right thing to do for the future of the franchise. Good job, Mike Yancey.
Yeah.
I like that.
And the other thing, we talked about this yesterday. Don't draft for this roster, draft more so for the future, or you could do a little bit of both, which they did, right? They needed depth at the guard position, so they got that. And this is a kid that needs to put muscle on him. He's very slender. He's small. He's 6'2". All right. I know it's some are listed as 6'3", some are listed as 6'4". He's 6'2" without shoes on. So with shoes on, he's 6'3", 6'3"
As Amy said
and a half.
yesterday, they play with shoes on.
Yeah. So he's 6'3", 6'3" and a half. But the one thing against him that's going for him is he's very slender, kind of like Isaiah Evans, who we talked about from Duke. Although he was 6'6", he did not get drafted in the first round, by the way. So people like me who are very interested in Evans, the NBA told you what they think about him.
You can still be interested in him.
Yeah, he'll probably go early today, I would imagine, because now the 2 rounds of the NBA draft are over a span of 2 days.
I think the first round just got over. For God's sakes, that is a long draft.
It is a long draft.
I think last night, and I'm going to tell you, if I told you I know much about the Sixers' first-round pick, I watched him play probably 4 or 5 times, so I don't know a ton, so I'm not going to come on here and act like an expert. But what I read and what I see, I sort of like it, and it feels good about it. But what I will say is this. It tells me more about what the Sixers brass currently thinks about Quentin Grimes. That, to me, and Kyle Lowry.
Well, Kyle Lowry's
exactly.
He's
they're tired of that
stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, but they're tired of that. They're tired of that stuff But it also tells me, too, that I think they're ready to move from Quentin
Well, we'll
Grimes.
see. You can have 4 guards. You should have 4 guards, but you're not going to pay your
Why
fourth
would you pay
guard.
your fourth guard? So it tells me they're moving on from Quentin Grimes.
No, they'll probably look for some wing guy, or
Why not?
Or they need a center. I mean, Joel Embiid's, we don't know when he can play. Dembona has shown that he's not ready to take. I don't think he's ready to really take a bulk of the minutes. And Andre Drummond's gone. So you're gonna have to pay for a center. Maybe you don't pay for Quentin Grimes. Now, you say you watched him about 4 or 5 times. I will tell you right now that I watched this kid more than I would have expected.
Why?
And I watched more Alabama basketball this year than ever before.
Why?
I'm going to take you back to January 24th of 2026. So this is pre-March Madness, which they got to the Sweet 16. So we watched them in the round of 64. We watched them in the round of 32. We watched them in the Sweet 16. I think I had them losing in the second round.
Is there a bet involved?
No.
No?
Remember the story that involved Charles Bediako?
Aye.
Charles Bediako was the player that played in the G League and left the G League and went back to Alabama, where he attended college originally, and they allowed him to play. And he played for 5 games before the NCAA said, all right, hold on a second. What are we doing here? We're allowing this kid that has had professional experience who played in college. It's not like he's 17.
It's not exactly.
He played 2 years in college, went to the G League, got drafted, went to the G League, and now we're allowing him to play in college again? This doesn't sound right. But he played for 5 games. And that first game on January 24th, 2026, in a loss to Tennessee, I'm watching for Charles Bediako, and I see this kid, Labaron Philon, drop 26. He had 7 assists, grabbed some boards. Couple games later,
and you were
he
thinking,
shot 4 of 7 from 3. I'm like, who is this kid?
Don't tell me you were thinking Sixers could use this guy.
No, I was just wondering who the kid was.
No, that's good. Yeah. Hey, Sixers could use this guy. I like it. Look, it's you know what I like is the all business. I loved hearing that.
Yeah.
All business. The SEC network analyst saying he was one of those players with a football mentality and all business.
Oh, he went to Alabama.
That to me is, well, that doesn't necessarily mean Alabama basketball doesn't have the same, let's just say, football mentality.
Nick Saban doesn't hang out with the hoop squad?
No, it doesn't exactly work the same way. But I was impressed by that. I'm glad to hear that. Something about him reminds me of the Slim Reaper, too. Reminds me of Devontae Smith. Just looking at him, just his mannerisms, and I'm excited. I'm excited because, look, he's another piece to the puzzle.
Yeah.
And what I love is 3 young players that I can see as being foundational potential pieces. We got to see what this guy does at the NBA level to know that he can be a leg to the stool, but that are all about the basketball.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I like dedication from the word go. Whether it was Maxey, whether it was Edgecombe, or whether it's this kid coming in now, all about hard work, dedication from day one, stepping into the NBA. We're not going to have to wait for them to ramp up to understand what it takes to be a professional.
By the way,
I love that.
40% three-point shooter last year for Alabama. Remember, Maxey was a 27%,
29?
something like that.
Yeah,
and
I remember.
And now we know who Maxey is. VJ Edgecombe was in the low 30s in his last year in college at Baylor. He actually shot much better than anybody expected to. This kid's a little bit different, where it's like, all right, this kid can already shoot. Let's see how it translates to the NBA level. So the Sixers select Labaron Philon, 22nd overall pick from Alabama.
It wasn't a surprise either when they were on the clock. The analysts pretty much had it.
No, I mean, the biggest surprise for Mike Gansey, and you'll hear it later on the show, is that he was still there because he was a player that they really liked, and this was a very deep guard draft. And I know you guys hear it all the time, like, oh, this is a big draft. People weren't saying that about the 2025 NBA draft. People had been saying about the 2026 NBA draft since the start of the college season. They knew that this was going to be a really big draft, and so this helped out the Sixers. And look, maybe that's why Daryl Morey, going back months ago, said we need a pick in the first round because this is a really deep draft. I find it
Are
funny.
You giving Daryl credit this morning?
No, I'm still trying to figure out why he made the trade.
Daryl's stupid, and I'm going to say, I love Daryl, personally, Daryl, great dude. Daryl's stupidity of the Jared McCain deal, to me is still it's mind-bogglingly stupid, and I'll never get past it. And last night it was brought up numerous times that they had to go and fix a problem.
Yeah.
But I applaud that Mike Gansey doesn't give a damn. He's about, hey, this is the best guy available. I'm getting the best guy available, and he was great value at that pick. So there you go. You got somebody that can help you. I feel good about it.
So speaking on that, the McCain stuff, great press conference with Mike Gansey yesterday. What I found out yesterday, listening to his press conference, is that I want him to be my wingman. If I was hopefully my wife and I are happily married, till the day we're gone. And I expect us to be, Johnny. But if I ever needed a wingman, I think I want Mike Gansey.
Why would that be?
Mike Gansey talked up Labaron Philon like nothing before. Like this guy loves this selection. And, of course, at one point he was asked about the Jared McCain situation by one of the reporters that were at the press conference. Hey, McCain got traded and you drafted another guard. And this was his response.
Yeah, I mean, again, I wasn't here, but we got him at 22, and I hope he's good. I hope he's someone that the Sixers are going to like as much as Jarrett, and he'll have to prove that, and we're excited to have him. So, we're very, 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 very excited for him, and excited to get him in here in a couple of days.
Something he's done in his press conferences though that I want him to fix. If I was the PR department, and they, by the way, they have a good PR department. They'll work with him on it. He refers to the Sixers in like he's not part of it.
Oh, he's not used to it. He's a Cleveland guy, man.
You're Sixers, dude.
Yeah.
Like he refers to the Sixers. It's like the third time I've heard it in an answer where he refers to the Sixers as being like, I hope the Sixers like him. Well,
yeah.
Dude, you're the Sixers.
Yeah, that's a good
You're
point.
the Sixers. So like you got to start owning it. You're the Sixers, and we're glad you're here.
His roots are Cleveland. He's worked with Cleveland.
I got you, but you're here now. We're glad you're here, and we love you. We're glad you're here.
Yeah.
You're a Sixer now. Now the Sixers are going to love you too.
Yeah,
keep doing the good things, and we're going to.
Yeah.
No, we're going to love you too. Keep doing the good things.
We'll love Daryl Morey for 5 minutes. All right. Now, that was
Daryl
about...
Morey got a big honeymoon here.
He did.
He got a big honeymoon here.
That was, of course, in response to the McCain thing. He wasn't going to say anything about Daryl Morey. He wasn't going to say anything really about Jared McCain himself. Yeah, of course.
That's a class act.
So when he first got to the podium yesterday, and it was tell us about the pick. This was his answer.
Yeah, he was pretty high on our board. Surprised a little bit he was there. But, I've watched Labaron a lot. One of my close college friends is the athletic trainer there at West Virginia with me. So, I kind of know those guys there a little bit. We drafted Colin Sexton in the past at Alabama, but Labaron's just a dynamic guard. He can play on and off the ball. Came back for his second year at Alabama. Could have came out last year probably, and, got picked probably a little bit higher this year. But just dynamic and can score, can pass. I think he was the only player in Division I to average 22 and 5 assists, shooting over 50%. He shot 39 from 3. His efficiency went up. He had 35 on Michigan, probably one of the best defensive teams in the country in the tournament. And he's playing in the SEC, so he's the focal point of the offense. The other team scouting report, and he's got some toughness. I think he's going to fit Philly. He plays with an edge, plays with a swag. He's not afraid. He's a Mobile, Alabama kid, so he stayed home, so he's loyal. And, he's won a lot of games there. Playing with Nate Oates. They play like an NBA system. They get up and down. They play fast. They shoot a lot of threes. So we were very, very excited he was there. He was a really good player the last 2 years, and we're excited to have him in Philly.
Yeah, look, he's pumped him up. And I would like Mike Gansey to be my wingman if I ever needed that. He mentioned the game against Michigan. Michigan, of course, the NCAA champions in the tournament. They finished with 3 whole losses throughout the entire season. Philon finishes with 35 points in 39 minutes, 10 of 21 from the field, but 6 of 14 from 3 with 7 rebounds and 4 assists against a team that pretty much dominated everybody the entire year. That's a great game.
I'm reading AL.com is where you can find out a lot more about this kid if you want to go read a lot more. There's a lot of stuff out of Alabama.com, AL. And they talk about him as he's better, seen to be better versus the opponent. That almost in games where he was challenged against better competition, he seemed to raise his level of competition and almost be better.
Yeah.
That games against the weaker competition, it was almost like he was,
Let me get through this.
yeah, let's go. He was looking for the bigger challenges. Well, he's got a bigger challenge coming here with the Sixers, and he's going to get plenty of chance to have an opportunity. He'll get plenty of playing time. This is going to be great.
He might be one of the first guys off the bench. I mean, on a given night.
I would think
right?
he should be, right?
I mean, you need depth at guard, which you did not have last year. So your reaction to the Sixers selection of Philon last night, you could text in, you could call in voice memo 610-632-0975. We're going to joke around about the Jared McCain stuff, but again, remember, Mike Yancey had nothing to do with that. It's not like he said, damn, I made this trade, now I have to select a player to replace that guy. He had nothing to do with it. He had pick 22 in his lap, and he selected a player that he really liked, 610-632-0975. Now, that was not the only big night in Philadelphia yesterday or regarding a Philadelphia team.
Wild
Philadelphia night. South. D.C., man. Nationals Park, Phillies. Hand-raised Andrew Salciunas when Orion Kerkering gave up that home run. I had a long day today. Night.
I am okay, the way the game was going, you really felt it was over?
Yes. When Orion Kerkering gave up the three-run home run.
I felt deflated, but I didn't think it was over.
I sent the text. This game's over.
I had a long day yesterday. We had a nice meal in Chinatown. My wife bought a new car. That was a long day
yesterday.
Did
you have sake or something?
No.
Wasn't that Japanese?
No. And then
I don't know.
Then I exercised. It was a long day yesterday. So when the Phillies give up a three-run home run in the bottom of the eighth inning after
back
making it a
to
ball
take
game,
the lead,
I was like, damn it. All right. That sucks. Boom. Lost. I didn't even check the score this morning. It's usually the first thing I do.
Okay, I'm not happy with you.
Connor Thomas goes, anything big happened last night? I'm like, yeah, the Sixers selected their player. I had no idea.
I swear to you, I did not know that when I walked in with you.
No idea.
That's incredible to me because you missed, I think, and you don't check because Pop does not check his text.
No.
And I said to you, you said you went to bed early, and I said, I'm sorry I was texting so late.
I was like,
but I believe my text to the group text was, this is one of the most amazing innings that I've ever witnessed as a baseball fan.
Yeah.
And you went to bed on it.
If other people went to bed like I did, the Phillies scored.
Some people need to admit it because they will. It was one of the most amazing performances in baseball history, Connor, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Phillies scored 8 runs
with
in the
2
top
outs.
of the ninth inning with 2 outs. Jason Stark with the tweet yesterday before the Phillies tonight or last night. No team had trailed with 2 outs in the ninth and then scored 8 runs to win in almost 40 years. The 1988 Royals were the last team to do it. And Mitch Williams, how about it, was pitching again.
To me, it was incredible to think that I'm watching that going, and I think it was Austin who texted in the group chat, my Lord, when Bryson Stott hit it. Bryson Stott's home run, and if you've watched the highlight, I think that left the yard as fast as I've ever seen Bryson Stott hit a ball. It was incredible. It was an incredible, incredible moment, and it was jaw-dropping. I'm not going to tell you that I didn't think that they were kicked in the, nuts, but I did not. I did not think that game was over, though.
Oh, I thought it was done. Orion Kerkering gives the home run after you make the comeback. I go, all right, that's it. Be ready for tomorrow. Well, you mentioned Bryson Stott. Here's how it sounded yesterday on NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Bryson Stott smokes one to deep right field toward the pole. It is gone! He did it! A 3-run explosion for Bryson Stott. And the Phillies are back on top. It's 11-8.
So Bryson Stott with the big home run.
It was incredible.
Phillies end up finishing off the win yesterday, 14-9. They do give up a home run in the bottom of the ninth inning. Were you guys thinking that the Nationals were going to come back?
No. But that was just the lowercase LOL text to the group chat of just like, of course they're still going to.
What's going to happen?
That was one of the weirdest games.
I mean, and look,
that's incredible.
It's a testament to the Phillies not giving up, and credit to them, and good for you guys for seeing it. So here's a fun.
Well, the thing was though, you understand, the Sixers hadn't picked.
Yeah. I was out.
So
dude.
it was like
tired,
I'm going. The Sixers hadn't picked yet because the NBA draft is just a.
Yeah, it takes forever.
Oh my God, it's a death march.
Yeah,
and it just is. And Malika does such a good job. She does such a really, really good job on that desk. But it was a death march of just nonsense of talking about players that nobody knows, and they're just going on. That thing should be done. They should be rattling off picks like that.
Yeah.
And instead, it's this dragged on.
That's not how it's going to go, ever. All right, here's a little side topic for you then. You know, other than the reaction to Philon, the selection of Philon last night. What is a game you missed or a finish that you missed? I've told you guys this story before. One of the most iconic regular season Eagles games ever was the Snowball game against the Detroit Lions. And I was stuck in traffic on 95 driving grandma back from church to her house. And because of the snowstorm that came in out of nowhere, 95 basically stopped. And we were on 95 for 3 hours. I listened to the entire game.
Which must have been cool, but
well, not when they're talking about this is one of the greatest sights of all time. And I was like, I can't say it, Merrill. All right? I can't say it.
Well,
Paint the picture.
Merrill couldn't see it either.
Well, it was hard to see from up there. So, what's a game that you missed?
I told you. I didn't miss it, but I missed it live. The first Eagles game that I can ever remember the first Eagles game I can ever remember not watching.
Right.
Olivia's first birthday, December 19th, 2004, Eagles-Cowboys. Christina had to have her birthday party on her birthday. Had to be on her birthday. Couldn't be the day before, like a 1-year-old knows. Had to be that day. Had to be during an Eagles game.
Oh, yeah.
Eagles-Cowboys. And T.O. broke his leg. And I watched that game, did not touch my phone, did not know the score. And then I watched that game on the DVR later, and I see that T.O. broke his leg.
Didn't you miss the comeback against the Giants, too? Same situation.
I left the game. I left the game to go to her 7th birthday.
Right. Yeah.
At American Girl Cafe. And they were losing 31-10 when I left the Eagles bar. And then I kept getting told, oh, my God, you're missing. Oh, my God, you're missing this.
So a game that you missed either in its entirety.
Two of the biggest ones, both Liv's birthdays.
Or a comeback, because I watched the game last night. It's just when Orion Kirkland gave up the home run, I was done. And so is there a comeback that you missed? 610-632-0975. We'll have fun with that one. You got to admit it, though. You can't.
Come on now.
Don't lie to us. Life happens. You miss things sometimes. We'll get Connor's answer on that coming up next, but also hear more from Mike Gansey, Sixers president of basketball operations, and the official Labaron Philon hype man. He said something last night that made me so freaking happy. It's a reminder to Nick Nurse haters, but it's also a reminder to Nick Nurse to play your guys. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
All right, if you've been in business for 40 years, that means you've got a reputation. And for 40 years, that means you got a good reputation. How about you're helping people with financial planning? You're helping people plan for their retirement. And you're dealing with each client's unique needs. That's what Dan White & Associates have been doing. Dan White & Associates help people create income in retirement that helps them support the lifestyle that they want to live. Now, for me, that's going to be a lot of golf, a lot of travel, and a lot of sitting around a pool. So I don't know about you, but I know I want to find certainty in my financial future. You probably do too. Even if you're in your 30s or 40s, everybody knows finances can be an overwhelming topic. That's why the folks at Dan White & Associates can help you make sense of each of your unique situations. They host educational seminars throughout Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland. Go have a nice meal. It's on them. And you can go be a passive listener. You don't even have to share your personal information. Just hear what they can do for you. And then have your own complimentary, no-risk consultation in one of their 3 regional offices. Call 610-358-8942. Better yet, just visit danwhiteandassociates.com. You're going to trust these folks. They're great people. Tell them John Kincade sent you.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A wild win for the Phils. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies had one of the wildest finishes to Game 2 in Washington that you'll ever see last night. After going down 8-6 in the 8th inning, they rallied for 8 runs in the 9th. All 8 of those runs coming with 2 outs in the final frame. Brandon Marsh stepped to the plate, needing to tie the game. This is how it sounded on NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Fly ball deep to right field. Woods going back. This game is tied. A long home run for Brandon Marsh. It's an 8-8 game.
Bryson Stott would then hit a big home run to put the Phils in the lead for good. A huge win for them. Not to mention, Jesus Luzardo also had a career-high 13 strikeouts in his start. Game 3 is tonight at 6:45 p.m. Aaron Nola on the mound against Miles Michaelis. The Sixers stuck in number 22 last night and selected guard Labaron Philon Jr. out of Alabama. He averaged 22, 3.5 boards, and 5 assists in his sophomore season last year with the Crimson Tide. He now slots into a strong young backcourt with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe. The second round is tonight at 8 p.m. The Sixers do not currently have a second-round pick, so we'll see if they move up into the second round. The Flyers are on the clock Friday night with pick number 21 in the first round of the NHL draft. Adam Schefter will join us coming up at 8:05. Tony Jones of The Athletic joins us at 9:05 to talk about the Sixers draft selection. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic.
With Lamar, it's changed.
You're right.
But he's won the MVP and he's never made a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Lamar's not 25 years old, right? Josh Allen, as far as I'm concerned, needs to start getting criticized. Because if you're going to hold everybody to the same standard, then guess what, Josh? You haven't been to a Super Bowl. It can't be the team's fault every time. Joe Burrow took a terrible organization to the Super Bowl, right? So Joe Burrow, just by going to a Super Bowl, kind of gets checked off that list. It's like, all right, you're not in the same. No, like Justin Herbert. What are we doing here? Justin Herbert's not in this rookie contract.
Nope.
Justin Herbert's lost how many big games?
A lot.
A lot, right? Is it all his fault? It doesn't matter if it's all his fault. It doesn't matter. It's the quarterback. And Justin Herbert, how many playoff games has Justin Herbert won? Has he? Has he won one?
Didn't he just win one?
I think he won one.
I know he threw a bunch of interceptions in that one game against Houston. That was a loss, obviously. And I think last year he was able to get a win, right? Let me pull that up.
All I'm saying is, at what point do these quarterbacks start getting criticized? Lamar Jackson's fair game. He's not winning the big game. That's a good organization. Now they have a new head coach coming in, and I like Lamar. The dude just needs to get to a Super Bowl. Period.
He hasn't won one.
He hasn't won. Are you crazy? And when people talk about Justin Herbert nationally, oh my God, Justin Herbert, what a great quarterback, what a great player. Even the one time we were talking about him on the air. After he lost the playoff game, it was like, oh, that's the offensive line. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
But where are the details on Jalen Hurts? The only details we worry about are Jalen Hurts. Lamar Jackson gets a little bit of it.
You know the saying up the creek without a paddle? Yeah. I love how everybody's like, go get Mike Trout, go get this guy, go get that guy, go get Christian Walker. What the hell are you going to trade for him?
Well, then that leads me to my next question for you.
Unbelievable.
When you look at their top 10 prospects,
yep,
talking about the Phillies, Aiden Miller's still ranked number 1, although he's hurt. And number 2, quickly rising up the ranks, is Gage Wood. Would either one of those guys be untouchable for you at this deadline if it meant you could get that impact outfielder? Would you trade Gage Wood? Would you trade Aiden Miller? Because here's where I am, Ricky, before you answer. Mm-hmm. I'm very concerned about the future of the Philadelphia Phillies, right? I'm very concerned that the farm system has been depleted. But at the same time, I don't believe it's going to be Gage Wood that's going to make or break this team 3 or 4 years from now. Because guess what happens 3 or 4 years from now? You got a lot of old guys on this team.
And
So you need to go all in now because it's your best chance in the next 5 years. If they don't go all in at this deadline and do everything possible to fix this lineup or fix the back end of the bullpen before Duran, maybe even get another starter, you're not going to win a World Series. And if you don't win a World Series this season, there could be a lockout next year. You might not have Zach Wheeler in 2028. Harper's going to be 2 years older. Schwarber's going to be 2 years older. Realmuto's going to be 2 years older. Trey Turner's going to be 2 years older. Like, you see where if you don't do it this year, the future does not look bright for the Philadelphia Phillies, and you don't have any prospects that are coming to save the day. So it's weird because I'm not sure, even if they go out at the deadline and they get an impact bat in the outfield or they get another reliever, that they're even going to be good enough to beat the Dodgers at that point. But I think you are forced, if you're Dombrowski, to at least try.
Should the Phillies trade for Mike Trout? Should the Phillies trade for Scooble? Because you know what? Here, kids, the Phillies don't have what it takes to get either player. Spoiler alert, they don't have the quality of talent that it would take to get the two most sought-after players that could be available at the trade deadline. Now, there will be a lot of gas bags in this market.
Now more of Kincade and Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
This hour of Kincade and Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
So just reading some of the responses early on YouTube, curious to see what the Davis Honda text line thinks of the selection of Labaron Philon out of Alabama. Our man MBD chimes in. Last thing we needed is an undersized guard, but ultimately it doesn't matter. I don't know what you mean by ultimately it doesn't matter. Would love for MBD to follow up. I get it. Yesterday we were saying, please don't select an undersized guard because you basically traded away an undersized guard to get the pick that you're going to use on potentially an undersized guard. They got that. But Mike Gansey has nothing to do with Jared McCain. Mike Gansey had nothing to do with the trade that Daryl Morey made during the season.
Yes.
And you need scoring off the bench. So size be damned, you need somebody that can score. And he's a guy that in college could score. Let's see how it translates into the NBA game. They needed somebody that could score. Quentin Grimes was not that offensive punch for you off the bench as a guard. We'll see what they do with him as he's entering free agency. Kyle Lowry's 100.
I got to think that this means he's gone. Because I don't know why you would invest this draft pick in him to go and invest the money that you're going to have to invest in Quentin Grimes.
I don't know what the market is for Quentin Grimes. He didn't get nowhere near what he wanted last year.
That's fair. That's fair. But
he didn't really do much this year to get a big payday.
No, well, yeah, I don't know.
And he's a 6'4" guard, so at least he's your bigger body next to Philon. If that is the case, I don't need Quentin Grimes back. Like I've said that.
I don't need him back.
I've been saying that to you guys during the season.
No, I don't need him back.
Daryl Morey's obsession with Quentin Grimes, I saw nothing when it came to that obsession.
I think this sort of tells you that there isn't an obsession with him.
Well, it's a new regime, yeah.
I'm thinking that this tells me that, Kyle Lowry, who honestly looks like he's in poorer shape than many people.
He wasn't playing anymore, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, but he didn't even look like he's in shape.
Oh, he always had the big dumper.
Well, but he had the big fronter, too. It's like, come on, Kyle. You can still do the ab machine. You can still do the You can still do some things.
Look, he was on the tail end
I think
of the career.
too many trips to Nifty 50s.
Oh, I don't blame him.
I don't blame him
that churro
either. Look,
milkshake sounds amazing.
Look, I don't blame him either, but if you're getting the professional athlete's contract, I think you got to be. I think the one thing you have to do is you have to be in shape.
Yeah.
You're going to get that money.
He's not playing anymore. They'll probably use the limited money that they have left to allocate toward a wing guy or another big man.
How about a rebounder?
Right, exactly.
Connor, anybody?
That's a big one.
I'd like that.
Connor's been begging for rebounds.
We all
for
been.
Yeah, but Connor,
I know.
It's always the first thing out of Connor's mouth.
Because it's bad.
And last night I'm going, oh, geez. When the pick goes down, I'm going, I know what Connor's saying. Who's going to rebound for this team?
Tyrese Maxey had to say after a playoff game, I was tired of us getting out-rebounded, so that's why I went after rebounds. Tyrese Maxey, all right, 6-foot guard, is the one that said, I'm tired of us getting out-rebounded. All right, also, other than just your reaction to the selection yesterday, I fell asleep before the Phillies came back and won yesterday. I am the man enough to admit it. I'm never afraid to admit that stuff.
You have to change your wording, though. Because it's different what you did. You didn't fall asleep.
Well, I did.
You went to sleep.
I went to sleep. There
is a different. You made a choice.
Home run.
You made a choice to go to sleep, which is different than falling asleep.
Yes.
I have fallen asleep watching games and missed stuff. You decided this game's over. Click.
Yes.
I have fallen asleep and woken up afterwards and seen like Amy Fadul or Michael Barkan.
Yeah.
And gone, what the hell happened? And fallen asleep. You chose to turn it off. That's a little different.
Yeah,
That's a little different.
I said I'm going to value my rest over the last inning and a half of this game.
By the way, people don't understand 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Like anybody giving you crap doesn't understand 4 a.m.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was tired.
Especially if you have a long day, the 4 a.m. really sucks.
Yesterday was a long, fun, eventful day.
But a long day.
It was a long day. I was ready for night. Connor, did you have a game that you missed the finale or you missed the entirety of at any point in your life that you go, damn, I can't believe I missed that one?
Yeah, I have two. So both, I believe, before I got into the industry or just getting in. Game one of Sixers-Raptors. We don't need to talk about how that series ended. I fell asleep on the couch, and neither of my roommates at the time were Sixers fans. I woke up to, like, the last 30 seconds of the game.
Oh, really?
I slept through the entire first playoff game of the Eastern Conference semifinals back in 2019.
That's impressive.
And it was game 3 that Embiid won on the last-second three-pointer, right? Of that series?
Forget which game
it was the inbound. That was the amazing inbounds play to Embiid.
Was this the
no,
Kawhi?
that was a different.
No, he's talking about the Kawhi one. Yeah.
Oh, that was the early one. You're talking about 2019.
Gastroenteritis.
Oh, okay, you're talking
the
about
one that
that.
mattered.
Bubble guts. Yeah.
Embiid with the.
But I chose to go to bed before the Bryce Harper walk-off grand slam against
the Cubs. I was there.
See, now
it was electric.
Connor, am I beating out here? I've already gotten one text from a friend of mine who's somehow standing up for Andrew on this, going, "Don't be a D." It's the same thing about me saying you got to change your wording. He goes, it's the same thing. No, it's not.
It's not the same result.
But it's not the same thing when falling asleep is one thing. Going to sleep is another.
Yeah.
Because
I was falling asleep,
but
so then I decided
But you made a conscious choice because of the Kirkering.
I could have been pinching my arm to stay awake. I said, no.
Because if they were winning, you would have stayed up for the ninth.
I would have tried to, yeah.
You would have stayed up for Duran to close out that game. So there's a difference. And I'm getting called up by my own friends. Screw you. Go be friends with Andrew.
Yeah, screw you, John.
I'll send you Andrew's number, and you can be friends with him. Jerks.
All right. We'll get a lot of reaction on this throughout the course of the show. Your game that you fell asleep to, chose to turn off, or you just miss it entirely for reasons that's not to blame for you. Like, I got trapped on 95 for the Eagles-Lions snowball game. I missed the entire thing other than listening to it on the radio.
That's an incredible one to
miss.
That's an incredible one.
Freaking sucks, man. It's the only Eagles game I've ever missed, and it was that one. All right, Gansey, biggest hype man for Labaron Philon. Yesterday, this was a great question and answer about why you're selecting a guard when you had already Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe and you're using a first-round pick on a guard and another guy that's kind of undersized but a guy that can score. Remember, one of the biggest issues with this team was Maxey and Edgecombe averaging like the most amount of minutes in the playoffs and in the regular season, and it's because Quentin Grimes wasn't really that much of a factor. Kyle Lowry was literally unplayable, and they could not play Jared McCain after they trade him. Now, part of this is Nick Nurse's fault. Because I would assume that Daryl Morey went up to Nick Nurse before the trade and said, hey, are you going to greenlight this? Like, are you okay? You're not playing him all that much. You sent him down to the G League at one point. He's not really getting many minutes off the bench. Are you okay if we trade Jared McCain for what we think could be another move down the road? Because that's what the plan was. It wasn't to select Philon last night. It was to use that pick to trade it for something else to help them this past season. And I'm sure Daryl Morey said, okay, yeah, sounds good. So Nick Nurse gets some blame for this, for the Jared McCain thing. But here's Gansey talking about why you need an extra guard on this roster.
For sure. I mean, you need as many guards as you can that can go create a shot. And he's obviously one of the best in college. And, I think for us too, like, Tyrese was number 1 in minutes last year. VJ was up there as a rookie, I think 5th. Like, this also helps coach. Like, he doesn't have to play those guys. We need depth at that guard position. I think he can come in and, play some minutes and take a load off those two. And I think he can play with Tyrese a little bit. He's on the slighter side. He's got to get stronger. But if you look at his stuff, especially his freshman year at Alabama, he really guarded. And I think this year he had to carry a huge offensive load. So I think he took a little bit of a step back there. But I know it's in him. He's got good instincts, good hands. He's tough. He'll get into people. He's competitive. So, and like you said, we just can't have enough guards. Being in Cleveland, we needed guards, because in the playoffs, it's half court. You got to go get a bucket. And, I think Labaron can go get one anytime he wants.
Man, such a different philosophy from the last guy. Such a different philosophy. We need a lot of guards, whereas Daryl Morey was, no, I'm going to trade away my guards for other pieces. It's different philosophies.
But Daryl also, very much like Dave Dombrowski, it's Golden Girls. This is not going to be the way it is with a new Mike Gansey administration.
No, it's a draft, so we don't want to see.
But his philosophy is not going to. This is not going to be an old team. He's talked about it.
He could have traded that pick for someone.
The style he wants to play is not. He does not want to play a style that old men iso ball play. He does not want to play.
Well, there will be iso ball. Labaron Philon's pretty good.
No, but he doesn't want to play a slow style of basketball.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to play the Joel Embiid. Here we go.
Look,
that's not what he wants.
He came into the job with Embiid and George. I'm just gonna guess if Mike Gansey had truth serum, he's more excited for the aftermath.
Yes.
Than current day.
Absolutely.
Just
it's going to take time. This is just one move on the chessboard, and it's the first one, and he doesn't have a lot of flexibility this year.
Yep. All
That's
right.
Fine.
Coming up next, we'll get your reaction on this. The selection of Philon, pick 22. The Phillies' ridiculous comeback last night, a game in which you missed the finale or you just missed the game in its entirety that you really regret. And, yeah, I regret that one last night.
I bet a lot of people turned it off, though.
Although I
think there will be some honesty today, I hope.
I will be honest. I feel great.
That's good. I'm glad you get your rest, Sunshine.
Well rested.
You feel rested.
All right, we'll get your reaction on today's topics coming up next. It is Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Look, I was talking about Kyle Lowry earlier. I bet you he would nifty 50s. Everybody would love nifty 50s. Step back into the fabulous 50s with nifty 50s. Juicy burgers, fresh cut fries, and those famous hand-dipped milkshakes. Every bite brings you back in time. This month, I know Tunis has been talking about trying that shake of the month, the churro.
Oh, yeah.
And it's no wonder that Nifty 50s is the 10-time best of Philly winner. They have even infiltrated New Jersey. They've gone into the roundabouts. They now have 10 area locations coming soon to Oakland, New Jersey. And if you can't make it in, this is the good part. Order online or get no-fee delivery when you use the Nifty 50s app. How do you get the Nifty 50s app? Get it on the App Store or Google Play. So whether you're stopping by and you want that classic diner vibe or you want to bring the dinner flavors home, there's nothing like Nifty 50s. Do it at lunch, too. Do it for your office. Taste the memories for a full listing of locations and the menu. Just go to nifty50s.com. Better yet, download that app today. Remember, order online. Get that no-fee delivery.
Got some.
They're not in this building. That will tell you, oh, they should go get Scooble. They should go get Mike Trout. They can't get Mike Trout. Here's the reason. The Phillies have problems right now. Can they go to their minor league system and go get some top prospects? Somebody to call up that everybody would say, hey, this could solve a problem? Andrew was just talking about it. Hell no. It looks like the picked-over shelves at a Giant the day before a blizzard. They got nobody. Nobody's coming to save the day from the minor league system. There is nothing coming to help the problem. So if you don't have prospects that are ready to come up and ready to help you at the major league level, how do you think you are going to be able to get one of the top pitchers on the market or top players on the market? Especially one of the top players on the market who has every opportunity in his entire career to come here and play and has rejected it. Could have found his way here on his own and rejected it. Would rather play in anonymity in the shadow of Disneyland. No. What is the Phillies don't have it. You know who does? The Dodgers, the Braves, the Yankees, other franchises who are contenders that are right now, by the way, teams that are better.
First of all, starting the tweet with sorry Philly fans. Like, what are you sorry about? Like, what do we need to be sorry about? Like, the New York Knicks fans who looked like absolute trash half of this finals, and I know it's not all of them, half of this finals doing the stuff they were doing in the streets, beating people up, doing all this ridiculous stuff. That, number one, we're supposed to feel good for them? Or how about the fans that came down to Xfinity Mobile Arena and they chanted bleep and bead as loud as they possibly could every single time they were in the building? We're supposed to feel good for them? And then even if they didn't do any of that stuff, even if they were the greatest fans in the world, we're Philadelphia. That's New York. New York looks down on this city. They've always looked down on this city. They've always accused us of being a second-rate city. We're supposed to feel good? Oh, but poor Knicks fans. They've waited since 1973, and if you don't appreciate that, you don't like sports. Get the hell out of here with that. I'm not going to feel good for these ridiculous Knicks fans. Do you think those Knicks fans felt good for Philadelphia in Super Bowl 52? Were they out on the street saying, wow, look how united the city of Philadelphia is. Yay, Philly. Yay. Come on with that stuff. Get out of here. And every fan is coming at Sealski, and they're right. Like, don't lecture the city of Philadelphia. With what we've had to put up with from New York, we're now supposed to be, yay, Knicks fans.
Foxhole guy. He did the exact same thing I did last night.
You're quitters.
He watched Kirkland give up the 3-run bomb. He said, my 4:30 a.m. workouts come quick. I valued my sleep at that point. Pleasant surprise this morning, though.
It happens. We've all at one point quit on our teams temporarily, like in a moment, and said, okay, tonight's not their night.
Yeah.
We've all done it. I mean, it's not like Andrew did something last night that we all have not done.
I have zero shame with my decision.
Lie if you want.
Yeah.
If you say you've never given up on your team, you have.
I have zero shame.
I will tell you, I don't think I ever have on the Eagles, though.
No, Eagles
I don't think
games.
Eagles games, I think they're too, there's not enough of them.
Yeah.
So I've definitely gotten where Eagles games have gotten bad, and I've maybe pulled out the iPad or done something, but I've never gone, turn this off, I'm not watching.
I've played with Coop. Blowout,
or something like that. Or
wins.
something like that.
I still have it on.
Something like that, yes.
It's on, but like, you know, you're not. I'm not.
Like,
the notebook was put away.
Like DJ here going, I don't quit on my teams. I'm like, DJ, you're lying. You're lying.
You've watched.
You absolutely have quit on your team. On a temporary basis, you've quit on your team.
DJ has watched all 9 innings of every baseball game, has watched all 48 minutes of every basketball
No.
game.
He does say this. No, he makes it clear. He goes, when I watch a game, I stick with my team, whether they're winning or losing. He goes, and he says, I'm not claiming that I watch every game, but I don't turn games off. I don't walk away from games.
It's easy to do
I
that
don't
when you
leave
watch one
games
game
early.
a year.
Yes, I don't think.
You go, this is my one Phillies game. I'm going to
I don't think he does that.
all 9 innings.
No,
of this
that.
one.
But I said to him, I said flat out, I said, you're lying.
Yeah, there's
everybody at one point in their lives has, at minimum, you've given up on your team and gone, and then you're going, wow, they came back. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
It happens. All right, Connor, what do we have on the Davis Honda text line? You can feel the Davis difference. You can check them out in Burlington. We love them. Great people over there. What do we got?
Yeah, we got a bunch of texts on both of our topics. We'll start with the Sixers draft pick here. Tasty Cake Dom checking in on the text line today.
What's up, Dommy?
Well, he's saying, so the Sixers added a toothpick to a finesse team in an Eastern Conference with teams that hit the glass. Good luck, 35 wins. I'm out in all caps.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Look,
Come on, Dom.
there's still an off season where you can make a trade for another player. You can still sign another player. I think they have to target a big man because I'm not a Big Bona fan, believe it or not. I don't know if I've made that clear at any point during this tenure of this show together. It's not over yet. The season's not starting tomorrow. I get the concern of another undersized
Not
guard.
much is going to happen between now and the season that should be
Yeah,
able to
because
change.
they don't
the
have a
opinion.
ton of money.
Right.
But to have that reaction of I'm out 35 wins, yeah, they'll have 35 wins if Joel Embiid and Paul George are both hurt and can't play. But if they play, which they'll
don't expect either of them to
not
be able to be healthy,
100%. No, of course not.
because
But
they're both going to be what they've been.
they'll be in the mix for a play-in team, and you see, and that's it. You know, maybe you fall in love with the guy, Dommy. Well, maybe. All right, what else we got?
All right, we also have a check-in here from Chris from North Carolina, and he says, is it me, or did the Sixers just get rid of a guard, then pick one in the draft? Now we're back to a bunch of guards and a broken-down Joel. There's got to be a better way.
Okay, forget about Joel Embiid. Sorry to say, it's kind of hard to forget about the 7'2", multi-million-dollar player that's here for another 3 years. Kind of hard to forget that. The selection is about now, but it's also about the future post-Joel Embiid era. You need more guards. To say we already had a lot of guards is actually inaccurate, because when they traded Jared McCain away, they really only had one guard off the bench, and that was Quentin Grimes. Who was the other guard that you liked? Kyle Lowry wasn't playing basketball for them. They didn't have anybody else. They had a three-guard rotation.
Why?
Because he wasn't signed here to play anymore.
Yeah, but why did they end up in that situation?
Because Daryl Morey traded away Jared McCain.
Stupidity.
Yeah.
And I do believe it cost him his job. I do believe that is part of why he's not here.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I forgot campaign.
Being made fun of.
No, he wasn't.
He was hurt in the playoffs.
Being made fun of every night.
Yeah, he was hurt.
Every day on NBA Today, being made fun of on the TNT show. I mean, the ESPN show with Shaq and Charles and everything. I think being a constant punchline about that trade absolutely played into him not being here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
and then they get swept by the Knicks. Remember the big video of him and Elton Brand after the Game 7 win against Boston? They're dapping up, they're hugging, they're celebrating. We saved our jobs. We saved our jobs. And I remember after Game 1 against the Knicks, we came in here and we said, look, the series isn't over. But just want to point out that video one more time. If they lose in 4 or 5 games, you do know they all get fired, right? And they lost in 4 games, and they're both not here anymore.
Yep.
Mike Gansey has nothing to do with that trade. Nothing. The only thing that he had to do with that trade was using the selection
and
that they got back. That's all. All right, what else we got?
We have people checking in on the games that they missed. Bobcat from Kennett Square might have the best one right off the rip here. He says, I didn't miss the game, but I missed the moment. The family was at NLCS Game 5 versus the Padres. It was lightly raining. My then 4-year-old was not enjoying things, so they took a walk. They found an elevator lobby with a TV to watch it. So they saw it on the television, but were at the game and missed Bedlam at the back.
Wow.
He says, we did not take my youngest to the World Series game afterwards.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't take a kid that young to any of those kinds of games.
No.
It's too important.
First of all, it's too expensive. It's too important. And they don't understand the moment.
Oh, man, that sucks. Because I told you guys.
Bedlam at the bank was a terrible day to be in the stands.
Yeah, with the rain and everything. I took Coop to a game. It was like his second game ever. And it was the game where Harper hit his 300th home run. And the inning before, Trey Turner hit a home run, and the crowd pop freaked him out. Like, he was, like, not having it.
He was not enjoying it. How old was he? He was really
young.
like
2.
Yeah, that's.
And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to stay here. Like,
Now that's young.
I can't.
You're doing it for you at that point, not for him.
Yeah, so I took him out, and then all of a sudden I hear, now batting Bryce Harper.
Now batting for the Phillies.
And I'm walking. I'm in the parking lot at this point, and all of a sudden I heard the crowd pop, and I was like, damn it.
Well, the thing is, a lot of these parents bringing these little kids to games. You're doing it for you. You're not doing it for your kid.
Yeah, no.
You're just.
And then again, Coop was breaking down the splits of some of the.
You're doing it
that
for your
game.
kid. You're pretending like, yeah, I'm doing this for my kid. No, you're not. This is a little.
Fanatic.
They're little toddlers. They are not there for the baseball. They get nothing out of it.
Oh man.
When you have to put like headphones on them and you have to
Coop's
do.
making managerial decisions.
You could wait.
He's saying I wouldn't have put Kirkering in that 8th inning. Daddy would have still been awake. Coming up next.
Daddy wouldn't have given up on him at that
We'll
point.
check the poll of the day, brought to us by Dr. Avedon Appel and the team at Iron Mountain Men's Health. It's strong this morning. Always is, thanks to Dr. Avedon Appel. But also, more Mike Gansey audio. But maybe we don't just talk about Mike Gansey and hear from Mike Gansey. How about the guy they selected? Labaron Philon spoke after being selected by the Sixers yesterday. You'll hear from him. The newest Sixer coming up next, Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies with an all-time rally. I'm Connor Thomas. The Phillies had one of the wildest finishes to Game 2 in Washington you'll ever see last night. Going down 8-6 in the 8th inning. They rallied for 8 runs in the 9th. All 8 of those runs coming with 2 outs. Brandon Marsh hit a game-tying homer, and then Bryson Stott put the Phils in front for good.
Bryson Stott, smokes
baby.
to deep right field toward the pole. It is gone. He did it, and the Phillies are back on top. It's 11-8.
Great call there on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Jesus Luzardo also had a career-high 13 strikeouts in the game. It was a wild one for the Phils. Game 3 is tonight at 6:45 p.m. Aaron Nola on the mound against Miles Michaelis. The Sixers stuck at 22 and selected guard Labaron Philon Jr. out of Alabama. He averaged 22, 3.5, and 5 in his sophomore season last year with the Crimson Tide. He now slots into a strong young backcourt with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe. Second round is tonight at 8 p.m. Sixers don't currently have a second-round pick. We'll see if they trade for one. The Flyers are on the clock Friday night with pick number 21 in the first round of the NHL draft. Adam Schefter will join us at 8:05. Tony Jones of The Athletic joins us at 9:05 to react to the Sixers draft selection. This update is brought to you by Mattress Firm. Need better rest? Let Mattress Firm sleep experts match you with the perfect bed at the July 4th sale. They make sleep easy. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic. So let's do that. Now, Andrew Salciunas has the day off today. It is not because of a clip that went viral from our show last week about Jalen Hurts. He's got regular vacation, but he was getting ripped because he said his number one question for the Eagles this year is about Jalen Hurts' performance at the quarterback position with the change in offense, Sean Mannion now taking over. What is your evaluation of that? Is that your number one question?
My number one question for this team this year would be if the offensive line can stay healthy and hold up. And it's not a very sexy question, right? Like, if the offensive line isn't healthy, we can't get Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens and Lane Johnson back to health. I don't care what plays Sean Mannion's calling. They're not going to have much of a chance. The offensive line has to be better. It has to be healthier. They've been the foundation of that team for so long. They've been responsible for so much success. We're talking about elite, all-time Eagle talents. So I don't say this in a critical way, but I say it in a way in which the offensive line has had to play through some injuries, and it's aging. And are they going to hold up and hold together? If they do, it's going to be a great season. If they don't, it's not. To me, that's where it starts.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, 7 a.m. here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Later on this segment, I tell you about the foxhole move that I pulled off for John Kincade and Andrew DeCecco.
Really?
I would ask foxhole move or not, but we already know the answer to that question. I am a foxhole guy, and I
Interesting.
I hooked up John Kincade and Andrew DeCecco, and hopefully, maybe I help out a lot of our listeners. Explain to the people later on this segment.
Wow.
All right, a lot of stuff going on this morning. Sixers select Labaron Philon, 22nd overall pick out of Alabama. 22 points per game, last year. Shot just under 40% from three.
Tremendous talent.
Also 5 dimes a game. Mike Gansey was talking about in one of the clips that we played for you. We'll play more audio for you. That he was the only player in college last year to average 25 and shoot 50% from the field, at least 50% from the field.
How about that?
Efficient scorer, led that team. That's good. All these things are important, but there's also issues to address, right?
Okay, what's the issues? Height?
He's 6'2".
So you just, on another team, that's not an issue. On this team, it could potentially be an issue because of the fact that of how they're constructed.
You have a couple of those guys, and he's 177 pounds listed on Sports Reference. I don't know what the official weigh-in was at the Combine.
That's where I get the Devontae Smith thing.
Yeah.
That's my weight. That's probably not enough to play consistently at the NBA level.
Well, we were talking about Isaiah Evans, who was 6'6", 185 pounds. Like, oh, my God, that guy's slender. Now, 6'6", he's got 4 inches on the guy, so that's why he's going to be a little bit heavier. But we were talking about that being slender. This guy's 177 pounds. He can get bigger.
Yeah, he'll put weight on.
Yeah, but whoa. How much weight's he going to put on?
If I said 8 to 10 more pounds.
Yeah.
I would take a 6'4" guard. That's
190.
6'2" guard.
190.
Close to
Yeah,
it.
you could do that.
I mean, he's going to get stronger too.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to get him in the weight room, and he's going to get stronger and everything like that. But the work ethic, outstanding. The Alabama beat writer just saying that one of the guys that follow him from day one, follow him. That other coaches were saying, follow him.
Yeah. That's good.
So that's good.
By the way, I'm a sucker for this stuff. When he was drafted, the immediate tears, like as soon as he heard his name called, the immediate tears that came out of his eyes.
Him and his mama. Oh my God.
Like I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. It's one of the biggest moments of their lives, but it also, like Tyrese Maxey was the same way. When he got drafted, that dude was.
The tears.
I mean, he couldn't speak in his interview.
Tyrese can cry like on a dime. I can cry on a dime. Tyrese can really cry at it.
Yeah, and it's great. And, like, it shows how much this meant to him, and that's exciting to me.
I tell you, I'm just really liking the fact that the 3 young guards are all business.
Yeah.
They're all just gym rats, hoop kids. I like that.
Sure.
I'll take that.
Now, a lot of people last night when he was selected were wondering, okay, could this be a 3-guard lineup? Because that's something that Cleveland did.
Well, why couldn't
right? Because now you're really, really small on the court, and you don't have necessarily the athletic big man to help that out. Like if you had an athletic big man, and I mean athletic in terms of can still help out down low defensively, whereas Joel Embiid is lacking in that department, and with Paul George as well, you could get by with minutes. You're not getting by it throughout 48 minutes, but you can do it throughout a period of time. The Cleveland Cavaliers had 3-guard lineups, so maybe that's something that Mike Gansey and Nick Nurse used to run 3-guard lineups in Toronto. Now he also had Kawhi Leonard. He also had Pascal Siakam, some freaks with a lot of length. Here was Labaron Philon, the newest Sixer, talking about playing with Maxey and VJ.
I would just say learning from VJ, just the transition into the NBA, and then Maxey really just like the work ethic and the way he goes about things, the way he prepares for games, the way he get ready for practices, and stuff like that. And just like it's a learning point for me, just like being a veteran, going back to college, and being able to lead guys, and then being able to come in the NBA with a fresh start and learn from 2 great guards. They got great guards back there. So, just adding me, it's a blur. Really, just like you got 2 guys that's really shifty, 2 guys that really know how to handle the ball, and then a guy that can jump out the roof. So that means everything, with that backcourt. I feel like, Coach Nurse is going to have a fun time with that.
Yeah.
I like it.
I mean, look, he's confident. I love it. I love his confidence so much that I don't know if you caught the interview when he was on with ESPN with Iman Shumpert.
Yes.
Iman Shumpert just asked him, like, hey, how's your game going to fit in Philly? They already have those two guards. And he mentioned Maxey and Edgecombe. And Philon basically dropped, look, I'll do whatever they ask me to do. I'll guard anywhere from 1 through 4. And I'm going,
come on now.
Why not 5? Come on.
Like, could you imagine?
He's a confident kid.
I love it, man. I love it.
You know what, though, too, is that it's obvious he knew the Sixers liked him.
Yes.
He knew that he was on the Sixers' radar, and he was enthusiastic about being a Sixer.
Oh, yeah.
Because they showed him from the time Sixers were on the clock. They're showing him, and the clock's on him. And him and his mom and at one point, his mom's saying something to him, and he's just like, he says something along the lines of, like, Mom, stop. Like, the cameras are on him, and he knows the cameras are on him. He's like, Mom, stop. Like, he doesn't want to react because he's getting, like, choked up. Like, this is amazing. This is the moment. And he's like, Mom, stop.
It was a beautiful.
Oh, my gosh, what a great thing. It's awesome.
All right. So we have a poll, and then you'll hear from Mike Gansey because he actually had to talk about the guards as well because it's a very fair question. Like, Tasty Cake Dom, I think I love you, Dommy.
Dom's just a little emotional this morning, and it happens.
Yeah, Dommy's texted in, I'm out. I'm done with the team. They drafted
Dom's
what do you call
emotional.
him, a toothpick?
Yes.
You call him a toothpick. I get it. There are legitimate I wouldn't say concerns, legitimate questions. How about that? I'll word it as questions.
The thing is, though, here's the one thing is, though, there's not questions about, it doesn't appear in any of the draft analysis that there's questions about this young man's game.
No.
It's just questions about how, like, he sort of fits with what the Sixers' overall needs are. Guess what? The Sixers are so far away.
Yeah, they're not drafting for need.
They're drafting for was something that you made a great point with yesterday. You wanted to see this team, Mike Gansey, having a view of this team for down the road.
Yeah.
Not for quick fixes.
I don't care about the 2026 Sixers, man.
That was a great pick. There's nobody that I'm reading on none of these like draft reviews. Am I reading anything where they're picking this draft pick apart going, yeah, this kid has this deficiency, this deficiency. They're talking about it. The only critique I see is, does he help the Sixers? Where does this really help the Sixers immediately? I don't give a damn if it helps them immediately.
No. Well, here's where
they're not winning anything
here's
immediately.
Here's where it helps immediately, scoring off the bench. Because
right,
they didn't have it. ESPN, they did their pre-draft analysis. This was the weaknesses for Philon.
What did they say?
Slight build. Okay.
Well, we know that.
And is an average athlete by NBA standards. He's a capable but not elite passer and an inconsistent defender. He might profile better as a rotational backcourt scorer than as a starting point guard in a winning context.
They don't need
That's exactly what the Sixers needed. A guy that can just fill it up off the bench.
Yeah. That's exactly what they're looking for him to be. I mean, that sounds like a perfect – they have a job resume out there, and they're saying, you're hired.
My biggest worry is just I don't know if an undersized guard is going to work in Philadelphia.
We're talking about practice.
I think we'll be able to figure something out.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the big key is to me is I'm not going to be negative on this young man when everything I read about his game is like coaches are positive about him, scouts are positive about him and everything. It's the only people that really seem negative about him are people who are like want a quick fix. People want a quick fix. People want, oh, wow, there's something that could have helped. They're not winning next year. They're not winning the year after either. They're building something for the future, and Mike Gansey is hopefully going to get this right.
Yeah. Here is Gansey after they selected Philon. Very deep guard draft. Amy had been talking to us about that for like 2 weeks. People who cover college basketball have been saying since before the season started, I'm talking about the 2025-26 college basketball season, that this was going to be a huge draft class because of the amount of talent that was in college basketball last year. Not as many guys going right to the G League, not as many guys leaving the States and going to play European basketball for a year. College basketball a little bit back on the rise a little bit after last season. This was Gansey talking about drafting another guard.
You know, I was in Cleveland, a month ago? We had 29, and 22 sounded a lot better. So we liked our range, and, you know, we felt like someone was going to fall to us that we really liked. You know, maybe not Labaron because we had him a lot higher. But we knew going in, like, we're going to get a player that can maybe play for us right away. You know, like, it's going to take time for all rookies, but, like, I think this is a really deep draft, at least in the top 20-ish range of guys. And, Labaron was one of the best players in the country at the guard position, and a little bit surprised he fell to us. But there's so many good guards in this draft where, all those guys that went in maybe the teens, they might be top 10 in normal drafts, but just with the depth, especially at the guard position, that he was just someone we couldn't pass up.
You like Gansey, don't you?
Yeah, I say, seems like a guy I hang out with.
I enjoy his answers. And sometimes, as Connor over our 6 years together has said to me, sometimes, John, you enjoy the press conferences too much.
Or hate the press conferences.
But I really do like his answers because I think he says what he means.
Yeah.
I think he says what he means.
Surprised that he fell to us.
I think when he breaks down a guy, I feel like I'm getting a real answer. I always thought with Darryl, I was getting the fortune cookies.
Yeah.
I was getting a lot of double talk. I was getting a lot of somebody's coming out of
I'm right, you're wrong.
I never felt. I know a lot of people felt that way with Darryl. I didn't. I didn't feel that way, mainly because of the fact is, I don't feel when in basketball conversations, especially NBA ones and everything, I always feel like that's not a fastball for me. That's not one of my best pitches. So I always feel like I'm learning a lot in a lot of conversations.
You're a crafty righty.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah, they make a lot of those these days.
Dude, I'm a junk baller.
Yeah, you're a junk baller.
I'm a junk baller.
Work. All right. So let's get some texts on the Sixers selection, and then we need to have some more fun with this Phillies game that I went to sleep, did not see the comeback. I admitted it right at the beginning of the show to let you guys know that I didn't see it, and we're curious what other games did you guys miss the finale of or the game in its entirety, and for whatever reason, let us know what the reason was. Mine was just beauty sleep, 610-632-0975.
It didn't work, but you get back at it.
It worked. I look good
Get
today.
back at it.
Before we check the text line,
did your wife tell you the bags under your eyes? Because I don't see any bags under your eyes.
Yeah, no, because I slept yesterday. I've not been sleeping.
By the way, my bride said she does not see bags under your eyes. So my bride does not see bags under your eyes.
Yesterday they were popping.
So she didn't see them.
What's the poll looking like, Connor? Poll of the day brought to us by Dr. Adnan Appel and the team at Iron Mountain Men's Health. It is strong, of course.
It always is. With Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe already on the team, are you okay with the Sixers drafting another guard in Labaron Philon Jr. last night? Two options. Yes, best player available, or no, worried about fit. 76%, ironic, saying yes, best player available. Only 24% are saying they're worried about the fit.
Yeah, because you're not winning now. Right now, every win,
right?
And every playoff win and every playoff series is like just an added bonus, right? Like that's just the way that it is right now. Nobody's expecting to win a championship at this stage of the career of Joel Embiid because he can't play through a whole playoff series. He missed games in both rounds that they played in. That's nuts, man.
I mean, come on.
But it's what we're used to.
Let's.
And you just gotta have to deal with it for either 3 more years or if they can get off the contract in a year or two. And that's just the way that it's going to be moving forward. All right, what do we got on the text line?
Did you hear last night? Were you listening to any of the? I don't know how much you watched of the coverage from ESPN, and I had it on doing the. I had on the Phillies on the one, and then the iPad in the other. The interest supposedly that the Sixers had was in teams, and interest in George and Embiid was nil.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
I am. See, I am. Maybe I'm a dope. And shut up. I'm surprised. No interest. Nil was described.
Well,
but
I wonder if George comes up at some point. Now that the Giannis sweepstakes are done, that was the big one.
But no interest in Embiid or George. I mean, I would think somebody would go, "Hey, I'm interested in one of those two contracts. You're throwing in a first-round pick, though. You're taking a bad contract from me. No interest, no kicking tires. Reportedly, the interest nil was the word used.
Well,
I'm like, that's bad news. That's bad news. That's just bad.
Yeah, no, it's not great, man.
It makes me shake my head because I actually think it's stupid on NBA teams' parts. Because I think I don't know. There's a lot of crappy players in the NBA. Like I think that I'm shocked that nobody would be kicking tires on either one of these guys.
Well, maybe they kick tires.
Maybe they did.
What else are you going to give us to take on that contract?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
All right, what do we got on the text line?
Miz from Northeast brings up both of our topics today. He says, I'll be honest, if the draft wasn't all on or the Sixers had already picked, I would have turned the Phillies game off after Kirkering blew the lead. I stayed with the game until the Sixers picked, and so I'm glad that I got to see the end of that one. As far as the Sixers selection, they took the best player available, which happened to be a position they needed, so I'll never be mad at that.
Yeah, I mean, when you're building a team, I'm saying rebuilding. When you're rebuilding a team, even though you still have some big contracts that you're kind of stuck with, when you're rebuilding a team, you got to pick best player available, and that's what they're doing right now. All right, we have to go to the phones, John.
Okay. The ERA, by the way, for the Phillies ERA for bullpen, just the sad news is it's now approaching 4.
Yeah.
The ERA in the bullpen is now it's 3.98.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Bad.
They're leaking oil big time.
We have to go to this call. It's a big one. One of our questions, speaking of that Phillies team, in honor of my absence in the Phillies game yesterday because I went to sleep and missed the finale, we're asking you, what games did you miss the finale of that you regret? Comebacks, games that you missed in its entirety, and they were like historic, great games.
All right.
Let's go to Caleb in Westchester. What's up, Caleb?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hi, Caleb.
What's up, man?
Good morning. Hey, I got one for you. So, February 9th, 25, getting ready, firing up the grill, getting ready to smoke some food for a Super Bowl party. And my wife tells me that her water broke. So I start laughing. I was like, yeah, that's not really funny. Today's a big day. And she's like, no, I'm serious. My water broke. We got to go to the hospital. So I put on my Eagles jersey, we load up in the car, head over to the hospital. At the hospital, the doctors are all wearing Eagles gear. In the delivery room, we were able to watch the entire game except for at the 2-minute warning, we turned it off. And a couple minutes later, my daughter was born. So,
did you name her Saquana or Jalen? What did we do here?
So her name's Sophie. We call her Super Bowl Sophie.
I love that.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, Super Bowl Sophie.
Yeah,
that's great, man.
What a story that was, and that'll definitely go down as the best day of my life. So.
That is a beautiful
awesome,
thing.
Well, congratulations to you and your wife and Super Bowl Sophie. The good thing is for you, Caleb, is that they were it was over. Like if it was Super Bowl 52,
oh my gosh,
I would have had a heart attack.
Oh my gosh.
Start to finish, they just dominated. So that was quite the way to end it.
Yeah,
that's
damn right,
incredible.
Caleb. We appreciate the call, man.
That is incredible.
What a way to come into the world, man.
That's
Super
a
Bowl
great
Sophie.
one.
I love that. At least they were up big. If it was 52,
oh my gosh,
dude.
How about
my child wouldn't know who I was.
How about 57? It was tied at the 2-minute warning.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, seriously, that
Picked
one.
a good Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh!
Picked a good Super Bowl.
Super Bowl 59. I said it the other day. Super Bowl 59. I did not know what to do with myself. It felt so surreal because I'm like, okay, this is supposed to be stressful. It's supposed to be impactful. And at halftime, I'm like,
game's over.
I knew what to do. Right hand drink, left hand drink.
It was great. Oh, no, it was great.
Yeah, dude, double fisting,
but I mean,
man.
The McLaughlins are coming over in the late in the third quarter, and we're celebrating. And I don't remember hardly watching the fourth quarter. It was just like it was on.
All right, hold on. Is it weird?
What's that?
I still have a Polaroid of Connor and I at the bar where we watched the Super Bowl in my wallet.
No,
you have
I think
a picture
that's
of me in
beautiful.
your wallet?
Yes.
I think
You've
that's
never
beautiful.
told me? That's so sweet.
No, I've told you.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful thing.
I don't really listen to what you say.
One
anyway.
of my best friends, Alex, his wife Em is big with the Polaroid, capturing moments, and she'll bring it anywhere. Like, all right, there could be something where we could capture the moment, and she took a picture of me and Connor. We are holding, I think, 8 Coronas in this photo.
Are my eyes crossed?
No, the mustache is.
Okay, here's what you got to do
ridiculous.
though: is you got to do something with that Polaroid to make sure it doesn't degrade.
Oh, you mean
So
like
you
my
gotta do
wife's
something.
college graduation photo? That's
Why don't you? Why don't you put that in
falling
something?
apart.
Dude, we're
See,
gonna
you're
win
in the
another
same-
one this year.
You're in the same slot as my wife's graduation.
Okay, now that's
photo.
odd.
How do you feel?
Oh, that's
Connor?
odd.
Slightly uncomfortable, but appreciative.
I think that's appreciative too. I think that's a really
It's a great
cool
moment.
thing.
Like I got to watch the Super Bowl with Connor and my real friends. Alex and Jack were there. Like it was a great time.
That's a really cool thing. That's a great memory
Courtesy
too.
of Corona, by the way.
Great memory.
Real friends. Mike on the text line. Mike from Turnersville checks in on the Sixers conversation. He asks, will Nick Nurse play Philon? He refused to play McCain and didn't stop him from being traded. Makes no sense for Nurse to still be here.
It's the Daryl Morey approved of that plan. Mike Gansey won't.
Yes.
That's the bottom line.
I saw Sean Comp on our YouTube chat saying, what's the point? Nick Nurse isn't going to play him anyway. And I get it. That's a legitimate, response.
I think that is absolutely a legitimate concern. Mike Gansey is never going to allow that to happen.
By the way, Nick Nurse spoke poetically about the kid yesterday after he was drafted. So, who knows?
I mean, hey.
By the way,
Nick Nurse is on the clock.
Yeah, no, he's got it.
Nick Nurse is on the
show
clock.
That he could coach
There's
his
a
team
big
up.
difference.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Foxhole move.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Oh, you already know what it is. It is Prime Day, Amazon Prime, which is more than a day. It's like an entire week, which
I love this.
That's fine. There were Old Spice products, 30% off, but it was all the deodorant that I can't use. I'm allergic to the white stuff. I have to use the gel, and none of the gel was on sale. But I know 2 diehard Old Spice fans. And I contacted John Kincade. I told him this morning. I texted the Checo yesterday.
Holy gosh, it's great price.
That's what I'm telling you. I can't utilize it because my armpits will blow up.
Okay, now you got to watch, though, because some of it is the cheap stuff. You got to get the antiperspirant
They have
deodorant.
it on there, 30%
I know,
off.
I'm saying. No, it's great because some of it is the deodorant. Don't just buy the deodorant. You got to buy the antiperspirant deodorant. By the way, great deal.
Yeah. So if you are an Old Spice aficionado,
I am. And
like me, John, and DeCecco.
Swagger.
Yeah.
Swagger's on there, which is my one of my favorites.
Go to Prime. Amazon Prime, 30% off.
Your old college nickname, Vanilla Wood, is on there. Fiji is on there, and I know that DeCecco is a big fan of the Fiji.
That's my favorite.
The Sport is there, which is they have the aluminum-free Sport is there.
But still the white stuff.
For 40% off.
I can't use it.
Yeah, but for somebody
about that stuff.
For somebody who likes it, it is really good.
That's why I'm letting people know. Just because I can't
I can
deal with
smell
it.
my pits this morning.
I'm letting you guys have it.
That's fantastic. You want to smell my pits?
Deodorant.
Smell my pits. They smell great.
Now, coming up next, there's a player that deserves a lot of credit this morning. Phillies with the great comeback win yesterday.
Wow.
Not just for what he did last night, but what he's been doing for the month of June. And, man, I looked something up this morning about said player, and holy hell is it confusing. I'll explain more coming up next. Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
An 8-run ninth inning. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies had one of the wildest finishes to a game that you'll see in Game 2 in Washington last night. After going down 8-6 in the 8th inning, they scored 8 runs in the 9th, all 8 of those coming with 2 outs to find the victory. Brandon Marsh and Bryson Stott both had huge homers in the rally. Here's how Marsh sounded on NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Fly ball deep to right field. Woods going back. This game is tied. A long home run for Brandon Marsh. It's an 8-8 game.
It ended up being a 14-9 final in that one. Jesus Luzardo also had a career-high 13 strikeouts in the game. Game 3 is tonight at 6:45 p.m. Aaron Nola on the mound against Miles Michaelis. Sixers stuck at 22 and selected guard Labaron Philon Jr. out of Alabama. He averaged 22, 3.5 boards, and 5 assists in his sophomore season last year with the Crimson Tide. He now slots into a strong young backcourt with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe. The second round of the NBA draft is tonight at 8 p.m. Sixers don't currently have a second-round pick. We'll see if they make a trade to acquire one. Flyers are on the clock Friday night with pick number 21 in the first round of the NHL draft. Adam Schefter joins us coming up at 8:05. Tony Jones of The Athletic joins us at 9:05 to talk about the Sixers selection. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Santa Luquito piece that came out with Carson Wentz, and
yeah.
So
Yeah.
there was a lot of defense of Carson. I guess what I'm saying is, for, independent of Carson Wentz, does it feel like the Eagles have Jalen Hurts' back after everything that's been put out there in the media and everything?
I mean, I don't feel like they've run the bus over him, but I do remember when the Carson Wentz article came out, they went into a damage control mode. I think they had Carson meeting with some reporters afterward to give his side of the story and clear the air. And I don't know if their reaction this time around is a result of that, like a byproduct of, do we really have to do this every time, because it's really not necessary, or if it's because they just don't. I don't think it's because of their relationship with Jalen Hurts right now. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think that it's Philly. This is going to happen. Stories are going to come out. It's been coming out even before Carson. So you have different people in charge now too. It's not Doug Peterson and his crew anymore. So I thought Howie didn't do the greatest job of backing up Jalen Hurts, but I also didn't think he was rolling the. Some people interpret it as that's messaging from Howie. I didn't interpret it that way at all.
With Lamar,
it's changed. You're right.
He's won the MVP and he's never made a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Lamar's not 25 years old, right? Josh Allen, as far as I'm concerned, needs to start getting criticized. Because if you're going to hold everybody to the same standard, then guess what, Josh, you haven't been to a Super Bowl. It can't be the team's fault every time. Joe Burrow's took a terrible organization to the Super Bowl, right? So Joe Burrow, just by going to a Super Bowl, kind of gets checked off that list. It's all right, you're not in the same. No, like Justin Herbert. What are we doing here? Justin Herbert's not in this rookie contract.
Nope.
Justin Herbert's lost how many big games?
A lot.
A lot, right? Is it all his fault? It doesn't matter if it's all his fault. It doesn't matter. It's the quarterback. And Justin Herbert, how many playoff games has Justin Herbert won? Has he? Has he won one?
Didn't he just win one?
I think he won one.
I know he threw a bunch of interceptions that one game against Houston. That was a loss, obviously. And I think last year he was able to get a win, right? Let me pull that up.
All I'm saying is, at what point do these quarterbacks start getting criticized? Lamar Jackson's fair game. He's not winning the big game. That's a good organization. Now they have a new head coach coming in, and I like Lamar. The dude just needs to get to a Super Bowl. Period.
He hasn't won one.
He hasn't won. Are you crazy? And when people talk about Justin Herbert nationally, oh my God, Justin Herbert, what a great quarterback, what a great player. Even the one time we were talking about him on the air. After he lost the playoff game, it was that's the offensive line. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
But where are the details on Jalen Hurts? The only details we worry about are Jalen Hurts. Lamar Jackson gets a little bit of it.
You know the saying up the creek
without a paddle?
Yeah. I love how everybody's like, go get Mike Trout, go get this guy, go get that guy, go get Christian Walker. What the hell are you going to trade for him?
Well, then that leads me to my next question for you.
Unbelievable.
When you look at their top 10 prospects,
yep,
talking about the Phillies, Aiden Miller still ranked number 1, although he's hurt. And number 2, quickly rising up the ranks, is Gage Wood. Would either one of those guys be untouchable for you at this deadline if it meant you could get that impact outfielder? Would you trade Gage Wood? Would you trade Aiden Miller? Because here's where I am, Ricky, before you answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very concerned about the future of the Philadelphia Phillies, right? I'm very concerned that the farm system has been depleted. But at the same time, I don't believe it's going to be Gage Wood that's going to make or break this team 3 or 4 years from now. Because guess what happens 3 or 4 years from now? You got a lot of old guys on this team.
And
so you need to go all in now because it's your best chance in the next 5 years. If they don't go all in at this deadline and do everything possible to fix this lineup or fix the back end of the bullpen before Duran, maybe even get another starter, you're not going to win a World Series. And if you don't win a World Series this season, there could be a lockout next year. You might not have Zach Wheeler in 2028. Harper's going to be 2 years older. Schwarber's going to be 2 years older. Realmuto's going to be 2 years older. Trey Turner's going to be 2 years older. Like, you see where if you don't do it this year, the future does not look bright for the Philadelphia Phillies, and you don't have any prospects that are coming to save the day. So
Is coming your way now.
7 a.m. hours brought to you by the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. Live bet sports on the BetParks app. Play all your favorite casino games. There's always another way to win on the BetParks online casino and sportsbook. Got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, we are asking you not just your reaction to the selection of Labaron Philon, Philadelphia 76ers' newest player, 22nd overall pick yesterday, 6'2" guard out of Alabama. We're also asking you, what is a game that you missed the finale of or you missed the entirety of, and for what reason? I missed the comeback last night after a Ryan Kirkering gave up the 3-run home run. I said, I am tired. I am going to bed. And I wake up. I come to work. Didn't even check the score. Connor Thomas tells me that the Phillies came back and won. You broke the news to me. Thank you, Connor.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that around 5:05 this morning.
I didn't even hit the breaking news sounder for you.
You did not.
That is one of the most incredible things, though, that you got here and you didn't even know.
Yeah, well, I don't really check my phone.
Incredible.
I listen to music. And
no, but that's
boom.
incredible, though.
Yeah. Here we are. So we're asking people to tell us what game they missed. You can text in 610-632-0975. Now, the guy that gave them the lead last night, let's hear how it sounded again. We played it for you about an hour ago. Bryson Stott comes up to bat and does this.
A trip. Bryson Stott smokes one to deep right field toward the pole. It is gone! He did it! A 3-run explosion for Bryson Stott. And the Phillies are back on top. It's 11-8.
Incredible comeback, incredible moment for Bryson Stott. That, of course, on NBC Sports Philadelphia. But I want to give the guy some extra credit right now, Johnny, because he's a player that's been such an interesting conversation. Forget like people's love affair with players, right?
Sure.
The Phillies organization told you the last 4 years, hell, we're going back to 2022, that in the postseason he was not going to be on the field against a left-handed pitcher. Like, he's a platoon player.
He did say that.
Edmundo Sosa, Gene Segura, all these guys. Like, they were playing over Bryson Stott when there was a left-handed pitcher on the mound. And then he had the great season in 2023 where he batted around 280, and then the playoffs happened, and they couldn't play him against left-handed pitching. And then the last 2 seasons have been pretty bad for Bryson Stott to the point where we're talking about, hey, do you try to acquire a second baseman? We talked about Ketel Marte. I mean, we've been talking about second base being a problem for a while, not defensively, because the dude's
he's a fantastic defensive player, but it's a problem.
Yeah, it became a point where he couldn't play depending on who was pitching.
But he has his moments.
They decided, and I don't know if it was a Don Mattingly decision. I don't know what it was. They decided, well, part of it was also Trey Turner was banged up, so Sosa had to play short. Sosa had to play third when Bone was struggling. we're going to give Bryson Stott the opportunity to play more against left-handed pitching this year. And it's really worked out for him. In the month of June, do you know what his batting average is this month?
300?
Yeah, right there, 304. He's batting 304 in the month of June, which has raised his batting average to 241 on the season. We've been talking about him being second in all-star voting for second baseman. He's been playing really good as of late. Do you guys know his splits this year? No. I did not know until I checked this morning.
I'm not aware either.
All right. His batting average this season is 241. Do you believe it is higher or lower against left-handed pitching?
I think if you're asking it's higher
yes.
against lefties.
He's batting 300 against left-handed pitching this year.
Okay,
he's batting 227 against righties.
You're messing with us now.
So the guy that literally was unplayable against left-handed pitching for 2 straight seasons and 4 straight playoffs is now reversing his splits this year, hitting 300 against lefties and hitting 227 against righties. I don't know why that's the case.
You're messing with us there.
I know we could talk about the batting coach all we want. I know Kevin Long helped Kyle Schwarber out a lot last year against left-handed pitching, but Schwarber still hit well against righties. I don't know what this is. This is confusing to me. Bryson Stott, who was unplayable against lefties, is now also a 300 hitter against left-handed pitching. But he's only hitting 227 against righties.
You know why baseball players are so superstitious?
Because they're weird?
Because half this game doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well, it's the truth. I mean, it doesn't make sense at all. Because that really does not make sense.
No, it makes no sense. The guy that's unplayable, and he's now in 34 games, 58 plate appearances, right? It's 219 against right-handed pitching because they were platooning him earlier in the year, but they're now giving him the chance to play against lefties. And as he has said, as Bryce Harper said earlier this year, he's a guy that needs to play every single day. And you can believe that stuff. You can choose not to believe that stuff. Right now, he's deserving to be in the lineup every single day, and he had a big moment again yesterday.
Potential all-star, don't forget.
Literally, which I find crazy.
Abysmal.
But that's the state of second baseman in the National League.
Yeah, it's abysmal.
But if you can get – I'm not asking Stott to be a 300 hitter anymore.
No.
But with his glove, if he's hovering around 240, 250, I'll take it.
No, 250. I'm dancing all day long.
Yeah.
I'm taking that any day you want.
It's
no
it's not what we were told it was going to be. Remember, he was a future batting champion.
Yeah, I mean, they did that.
That never happened.
There was a lot of that.
He hit 257 last year. You know, I would take that again this year as long as he's playable against left-handed pitching, which he wasn't last year. He's showing this year that he is. So good for Bryson Stott. All right, what do we have on the Davis Honda text line? You can feel the Davis difference. Just check them out in Burlington. By the way, even though Sixers and Phillies have been the main talking points, it is an Adam Schefter Wednesday. Shefty joins us coming up at 8:05. Tony Jones covers the Sixers for The Athletic. Will join us in the 9 o'clock hour at 9:05. What do we got on the text line?
So on the topic of games that you missed, I think we have one that we're all jealous of with Cole in the Lehigh Valley. I missed Game 7 against the Hawks. I had plans to go to the game, went swimming, had too much to drink, passed out, woke up at 1 a.m. My wife and my friends still went. I was so happy to not spend my money or time watching that pathetic performance.
See, that's a bit of a humble brag that he missed it. Like I'm jealous.
I wish I slept through
of
that
him
one.
missing it. That game was just such.
That was so bad.
That was one of the most painful losses.
That was so bad. Yeah, that was bad.
They were up 18 at one point in that game. Or was it 21? One of them was 21.
No. Game 1 was the big one, right?
There was two games in
I
that
thought
series
Game 1 was
where
the
they
one where
had
they.
large
I thought
leads.
Game 1 was the one where they had the huge. Game 1 they were up by the huge lead.
Yeah, Game 7 was the Ben Simmons pass.
Yeah, I don't think Game 7. I don't
that.
think they were up by 20 in Game 7. Were they?
I'm
sure they were up by something because they blew a lead in every game they lost.
They had a big lead at one point. I'll try to find the exact moment, but I'm pretty sure they had like an 18-point lead in that game. Or maybe not. Maybe that one was close.
No, I thought that game was more nip and tuck, and they were actually trailing.
But there was a game. It was a Game 5 that they lost. Game 5 they won by 3. Yes, Game 5 at halftime. They were up 62-40. And they lost Game 5 by 3.
They lost
in Philadelphia.
It was Game 1 and Game 5. They blew the big leads at home.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
That's an all-time.
Absolutely terrible.
You don't know basketball.
Yeah, thanks, Doc. Thanks. All right, what else we got?
All right, speaking of the Sixers, we have text on the draft last night, and this texter says this might not be a true rebuild for the Sixers, but you have to view all of their offseason moves through that lens because this is not the team or the style of play that Gansey wants.
Every move the Sixers make, I don't look at as adding to this current roster. Unless you're like adding a backup big because you need one. But every big move, every draft pick, I'm not looking at to add to the current roster, if that makes sense. It's about the future.
It's about the future.
Let him play a little bit with these guys, and then hopefully when you move off of one of the two contracts in the next year, because Paul George will be easier to move next season with just 1 year left, you could start looking more toward the future. But I'm not drafting to, all right, who works with Embiid? That's not the move anymore.
No.
The move is who works with Maxey and Edgecombe or what's going to be best for us in 3 years. That's every selection moving forward. All right, what else we got?
All right, we also have a check-in here on the Sixers draft conversation from Steve, who wants to talk a little bit about the pick and the organization. And he's always a ball of sunshine when he checks in. The Sixers pick another undersized guard who Nick Nurse will refuse to play. Sixers should have picked Cameron Carr, the better player.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people upset that Carr wasn't selected. He was selected, 2 picks later? Yeah, he was selected by the New York Knicks, so I would imagine that would be a reason why people are upset about that even more.
They're thinking, here it comes.
He's a bigger body, 6'5". He went to Baylor. So VJ, there's that connection with VJ Edgecombe. I get it.
Okay.
I get it. But Mike Gansey and the team, because he came into the process late, being selected.
Trusting Gansey. I'm gonna let him be. I'm gonna let him be him.
They did a full draft analysis.
I have no reason to doubt him yet. So I'm not doubting Mike Gansey.
Yeah, I don't really have a reason to trust him though. Like
I'm a give somebody the benefit of the doubt till they kick me in the privates, not doubt them till they prove it. And by the way, that costs me a lot in life.
Sure.
By the way, stupid. Not the best strategy, Connor.
I like to not get kicked in the stones.
And my wife and my daughter have totally different strategies in life, and they don't get kicked as often.
By the way, that Ibuka Okorie, who we talked about the other day, the Thunder drafted him, so he's going to be a freaking stud.
He's going to do it, right?
All right, coming up next, we have today's headlines with Connor Thomas. But before that, one NBA draft note to discuss that doesn't involve the Sixers, even though we have dealt with these issues in the past. We'll explain more coming up next here on The Fanatic.
Let's talk about the beautiful game because the world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament right on Kalshi. Over on Kalshi, you can trade every single match from the opening stage all the way to the final, especially the games right here in the city of brotherly love. Coming up tomorrow, Curacao is taking on Ivory Coast. Now, Curacao so far has lost 7-1 to Germany. And then they drew 0-0 with Ecuador. So they're due for a win, right? Well, they're heavy underdogs. Curacao is trading at 6% probability to beat Ivory Coast. But maybe you like an underdog. We like that here in Philadelphia. A $100 trade is going to pay you out $1,563 if they win. Maybe you're going to the game and you want to trade on the game just to have a little bit of action in the mix. Well, on Kalshi, your trading gets peers in the live market. And that's the best part. It means there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. So for a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code FANATIC to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi. That's Kalshi. Trade the beautiful game. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regulatory.
Hall of Fame sports writer.
Because I'm not sure, even if they go out at the deadline and they get an impact bat in the outfield or they get another reliever, that they're even going to be good enough to beat the Dodgers at that point. But I think you are forced, if you're Dombrowski, to at least try.
Should the Phillies trade for Mike Trout? Should the Phillies trade for Scooble? Because you know what? Here, kids, the Phillies don't have what it takes to get either player. Spoiler alert, they don't have the quality of talent that it would take to get the two most sought-after players that could be available at the trade deadline. Now, there will be a lot of gas bags in this market. Hopefully they're not in this building that will tell you, oh, they should go get Scooble. They should go get Mike Trout. They can't get Mike Trout. Here's the reason. The Phillies have problems right now. Can they go to their minor league system and go get some top prospects? Somebody to call up that everybody would say, hey, this could solve a problem? Andrew was just talking about it. Hell no. It looks like the picked over shelves at a Giant the day before a blizzard. They got nobody. Nobody's coming to save the day from the minor league system. There is nothing coming to help the problem. So if you don't have prospects that are ready to come up and ready to help you at the major league level, how do you think you are going to be able to get one of the top pitchers on the market or top players on the market? Especially one of the top players on the market who has every opportunity in his entire career to come here and play and has rejected it. Could have found his way here on his own and rejected it. Would rather play in anonymity in the shadow of Disneyland. No. What is the Phillies don't have it. You know who does? The Dodgers, the Braves, the Yankees, other franchises who are contenders that are right now, by the way, teams that are better.
Connor, Kincade Salciunas, Philly Sports Talk, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
It's 7:47 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. We have today's headlines with Connor Thomas coming up here in a moment. First, we had our caller, Caleb from Westchester, who, in honor of our topic today, where we're asking what games did you miss the ending of, that you wish you didn't miss the ending of because I fell asleep before that Phillies comeback. I chose to turn off the TV after the Ryan Kerkering 3-run home run. His daughter was born right at the 2-minute warning or around the 2-minute warning of Super Bowl 59. Good thing the Eagles were already up big. The day I was born, just as important of a game, Week 15 Eagles-Colts. The Eagles improved their record to 6-8, Johnny. I know you were fired up about that win, the 20-10 win for the Eagles. It was Sunday Night Football. I was born at 11:50 p.m. The game started at 8. They could not find the doctors because they were in
remember this is crazy as hell. I remember the game.
Well, you remember Bubby Brister going 21 of 39 for 272 yards?
I remember, like, I don't remember details of the game, but I remember the game, and I certainly remember the Bubby Brister experience.
Yeah. Herschel Walker, 79 yards on the ground.
Love Herschel. I've gotten to know Herschel pretty well over the years. Herschel was, obviously part of the greatest tandem with my old radio partner for 21 years, Buck Ballou.
Yeah.
Buck and Herschel won a national title together for Georgia. So anything with Herschel and the Eagles, I was always happy with.
They won their 6th game that year.
I got a 40-8 blowout victory over the 49ers on October 3rd.
Is that the day you were born?
Yes.
Wow.
Connor,
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Connor, I know exactly where I watched the game. I remember everything about that game.
I didn't see it. I was busy.
It was this city went so nuts, and everybody thought, okay, this is the year we're winning the Super Bowl. I mean, it was a regular season game that created such mayhem in this town. It was unbelievable.
And then?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right. Before we get to headlines, one other thing. The Jazz selected Darren Peterson yesterday. Back-to-back years where they selected a player that basically made it clear they didn't want to play for the Utah Jazz. He spoke afterward, he said, about this?
Yeah, well, no, he's buying in, clearly. A short clip here, but this is what he said about going to Utah.
Coming off the year I had at Kansas, I didn't get to play all the games that I wanted to. My first goal was to play all 82, make the playoffs, try to get a ring.
He knows he's going to Utah, right?
Yes, he knows he's going to Utah.
Come on
he can try to get a ring. He's
You
not
like
going
that,
to get.
though.
He's not going to get one. He's going to try.
Also, more games that I played or that I would have liked to.
Yeah, you
were
were the one-
taking yourself out of games,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, we'll see how that works in Utah. I mean, it's a shame because your daughter's happy out there.
She's
but
loving Salt Lake City.
I don't know how many people are going. I want to go move to Utah.
Hey, you can. Hey, it's a good quality of life, I can tell you. But I don't know if it's not the young scene for young athletes. I'm not sure it's the. Let's just pay. It's not the bottle service party scene.
Yeah,
it's not. Bottle service there would be in no caffeine. You can barely find a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, here's a
type of
Coke
thing.
Zero.
Exactly.
Go wild.
Exactly.
Can you drink soda?
They have soda shops. No, they have Connor.
That's
Connor,
kinda sick.
Connor, they have these soda shops that you go into where they create custom sodas for you, flavors because they make them with no caffeine.
That's right.
So you go into like a soda shop. It's like it's the 50s.
They got
You
a
expect-
jukebox with Chubby Checker on it.
No, Marty McFly comes in.
Oh man,
with
if you're
skateboard.
drinking a real soda around those parts, I bet you get looks.
No. It's the
This
it's,
guy's
It's the
wild.
all the bankings come in. So she tells me it's the Mormons versus the non-Mormons.
Oh.
So it's become like a little bit of a battleground. And she says, Dad, all the guys my age, all the Mormon guys, they all look like Bryce Harper. Which she doesn't complain about, by the way.
Sure.
She goes, they just all look like they're all part of a cult where they all want to look like Bryce Harper. They all have the sort of the facial hair.
Yeah.
They're all lean and fit. And she said she has seen 4 fat guys since she's moved to Salt Lake City.
Well, if you're a single woman heading to Utah, there you
It's
go.
not a bad. She says if you like the outdoors and you like being active, you're gonna meet you might meet a significant other out there.
Okay, Connor, time now for today's headlines.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
And it's brought to us by Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. Now, I'm not aware if our friends over at Lundy Law cover witch doctor curses. I have not checked with them on that. I'm
Do you
going to
believe in
assume
it?
it's not. Absolutely.
I do, too.
You know the long-standing Etsy witch love
Well,
that
Etsy.
I have on this show.
I hate it, but go ahead.
Guess what? It works every single damn
Except
time.
for us.
Well,
Because it didn't work for us.
Yeah, well, we'll
There
work
you
on
go.
that. We got to spend more money on the Etsy witches. We didn't pay them enough. But this one was for free. This was for country in the World Cup yesterday. So this actually was a quote that came out ahead of England taking on Ghana in the World Cup, where a Ghanaian witch doctor has vowed to put a curse on Harry Kane for Tuesday's England versus Ghana game. And the quote from the witch doctor: "I'm working on Harry Kane. I've shown what I'm capable of before, so I know what work I must do to stop him. I'm not wishing him serious injury. It will be just enough to stop him against my country. I will do my work so that it can help Ghana."
And it worked.
Well, guess what?
0-0.
Here's what happened yesterday.
Down, Kane picks it up. Rogers, James, into the middle, off the crossbar. Harry Kane misses. O'Reilly hit the bar. Kane missed the target.
Just as easy of a chance as you could get and completely flew it over the crossbar.
Our man Kieran is devastated. Big fan across the pond, of course.
Well, you got to get a witch doctor of your own. I don't know what to tell
By
you.
the way, that group
Is Kieran across the pond or is he here?
He's across the pond.
Oh, he is.
Kieran,
I didn't know
yeah.
that. Hi, Kieran. I didn't know. I thought Kieran was here
He's
and just a
across the
fan
pond,
of that.
Man, no. That's one of the entertaining groups right now. Because England's got 4 points, Ghana's got 4 points, Croatia is 3.
So that's a big
Panama's
deal,
the only
though,
one
that-
that's out.
It's a big deal that England only got that it was a draw, right?
Oh, huge! Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. It keeps 3 teams alive. Well,
Right.
the 2 other teams alive. Yeah.
Honestly, they had no business even drawing because there should have been a penalty in that game, awarded a penalty shot. But that's a story for another day. We've got something much more important to get to with mutant mice. So, John, you sent me this.
Yes, it's
from
from Channel 6.
6ABC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you hear this yet?
No.
Elizabeth Worthington was doing a
Yes.
story. There apparently was a recent study that mice and rats are evolving. So if you have the old poison rat traps, apparently, after generations of dealing with that, the mice and rats have now become immune to the poison. So
It's happening.
They're mutating.
It's mutating mice and rats in Philadelphia, especially. are finding that it's not working.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's not working.
Mice, I go the traditional route.
Yeah, but you got to catch them.
Well, no.
Put
I
some
use
cheese
the
down.
traps, but like the rat, that's bad news.
Oh no, it's bad news.
No,
That's
if a
bad
rat
news.
gets in your house, it's his house now. I'm out of that house.
By the way,
remember our old friend Haley had them behind her oven.
Oh yeah, no, that's bad. I read something recently, whatever insect control governmental group it is. Mosquitoes are like becoming immune to some of the sprays that are used, and it's like
because people are using them too much.
Yeah,
and the more you use them, I guess, the more you make them into. People make them into like they're wearing them too much. We're doing it too much.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
It becomes it,
and then they become immune to it. How about that? All right.
When did the Phillies become immune to playing wild baseball games like that? Because I need my beauty rest.
Well, you're not getting it anytime soon. By the way, the over-under that we set yesterday of 14.5 runs over the next 3 games.
There it is.
They need to score one more run for that over to hit.
There's no way they get shut out back-to-back days.
Don't say no way.
Dude, Miles Michaelis on the mound today, man.
0% chance.
Might not even be by the first inning.
Bob's bursting in air today.
I might take the under in tonight's game just because of what happened.
That's the old school Philadelphia thing. They scored all those runs.
Oh, Washington did too.
That's true. All right, coming up next, big day Sixers, big day Phillies, but it is still an Adam Schefter Wednesday. We'll have Shefty on coming up next, and before we bring him on, we talk about major news that the NFL made yesterday. We'll talk to Adam about it, but we'll kick it around first. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
I love the BetParx app. The BetParx app is so much fun. It gives you so many different ways to be able to wager. And today, it's going to be crazy. World Soccer Fever continuing. Hey, the guys from Middays with Marks are going to be out at the Parx Casino, too. The 2 top teams in each of the 12 groups are going to advance to the round of 32, which starts Sunday the 28th. And among the teams, USA, Brazil, France, Mexico, and more. See how I threw in the France? Hey, if you want to do me Turkey, I'll give you France. Hey, today at 6, Brazil plays Scotland, my homeland. Get to the BetParx Sportsbook today at Parx Casino for the World Soccer Watch Party and win soccer jerseys. Great swag and enjoy drink specials and more. John and Sean will be broadcasting live today at 10 a.m. from the BetParx Sportsbook. You can watch all the action. The 156-foot-high definition video wall for the ultimate viewing experience at Parx Casino. It's awesome. It's the World Soccer Hub. It's great on the BetParx app. You get daily odds boosts, player and team props, and more. The BetParx app, the only online casino and sportsbook app I ever recommend. But I'm recommending you get your fanny today out to the Parx Casino. Make your downtime fun time. Get the BetParx app and then get out to Parx Casino. It's so much fun. You got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan. Casino bonus has got to be wagered if you're using the app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Phil stunned the Nats. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies had one of the wildest finishes to a game you'll ever see down in Washington in Game 2 last night. They went down 8-6 in the 8th inning after Ryan Kirkring gave up a home run and felt like they might be dead. Well, nope, they rallied for 8 runs in the 9th, all 8 of those runs coming with 2 outs for a 14-9 victory. Brandon Marsh and Bryson Stott both had huge homers in that inning. Here's how Stott sounded to put the Phillies ahead on NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Bryson Stott smokes from the deep right field toward the pole. It is gone! He did it! And the Phillies are back on top. It's 11-8.
Jesus Luzardo also had a career-high 13 strikeouts in the game. Game 3 is tonight at 6:45 p.m. Aaron Nola versus Miles Michaelis. Remember, 4-game series down there in Washington. The Sixers stuck at 22. It's selected guard Labaron Philon Jr. out of Alabama. He averaged 22, 3.5 boards, and 5 assists in his sophomore season last year. He now slots into a strong young backcourt with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe. The second round is tonight at 8 p.m. Sixers don't currently have a second-round pick. We'll see if they trade to acquire one. Flyers are on the clock Friday night with pick number 21, first round in the NHL draft. Adam Schefter joins us coming up next. This update is brought to you by Bank of America. Bank of America, sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026, dedicated to offering solutions to help businesses meet their goals. bankofamerica.com/game changers. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Intelligent.
First of all, starting the tweet with sorry Philly fans. Like, what are you sorry about? Like, what do we need to be sorry about? Like, the New York Knicks fans who looked like absolute trash half of this finals, and I know it's not all of them, half of this finals doing the stuff they were doing in the streets, beating people up, doing all this ridiculous stuff. That, number one, we're supposed to feel good for them? Or how about the fans that came down to Xfinity Mobile Arena and they chanted bleep and bead as loud as they possibly could every single time they were in the building? We're supposed to feel good for them? And then even if they didn't do any of that stuff, even if they were the greatest fans in the world, we're Philadelphia. That's New York. New York looks down on this city. They've always looked down on this city. They've always accused us of being a second.
10 Middays with Marks. Now more of Kincade and Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, it is an Adam Schefter Wednesday. Shefty joins us coming up in a few minutes. We will address something beforehand, but let's update you on the poll of the day brought to us by Dr. Ivan Appel and the team at Iron Mountain Men's Health. The poll is strong for 4 hours every single day here on Kincade and Salciunas. Thanks to Dr. Ivan Appel. And it's about the Sixers selection of Labaron Philon last night. I did see one of our great YouTube comments. I forget who said it. I'm sorry. They said, who's the first caller that calls in and says LeBron? That might be something that people have issues with early on.
Oh, I never thought about that. I never thought about that.
I could see it happening. I know this.
In this town?
I know this town.
No, in this town, it's usually just pluralizing names that are singular.
But I could see a LeBron accidentally slip in for somebody.
Yeah, LeBaron Philons is going to be said.
Yeah, it's going to happen. What's the poll looking like there, Connor?
With Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe already on the team, are you okay with the Sixers drafting another guard in LeBaron Philon Jr. last night? 2 options, yes, best player available, or no, worried about the fit. 77% are saying yes, best player available. 23% are worried about the fit.
All right, and a couple of responses. Pepper chimes in. We traded an outstanding guard everyone loved to draft a guard. A solid guard, not outstanding. I'm not going to start overvaluing Jared McCain. It's just they needed him last year.
I golf with Pepper on the weekends, but I don't think it's the same Pepper.
How about that? I don't know how to pronounce this person's name, so I'm not even going to attempt it, but they said we have no bench. We needed depth at the guard position. Problem is now Nick Nurse. He doesn't like to play young players. Matt Reichel says he was the best player available. Go for it. And Twitter was better chimes in. It is a guards league. So there you go. There's some of our responses.
Yeah, those are some heck of usernames. Go read them if you're on social media to see what Andrew just had to deal with.
Dude, I have no idea. I wasn't even going to begin to try to attempt that one. All right. Before we get to Shefty, who will be joining us in a few minutes, Johnny, the NBA, NFL made the decision, yeah, we're not going to do a supplemental draft this year. Why is that important? Well, Brendan Sorsby, the player that was caught gambling, was going to enter the supplemental draft. There's a lot of talk of which teams could be interested in it. Their national shows were talking about it.
Yes.
And now no supplemental draft. They made the decision to not do it. There's a lot of reasons why. They had lawyers involved. I know Brendan Sorsby's lawyers are now going to try to bounce back.
I love it that they're going to now try to. They're claiming now they're going to try to make this kid a victim.
Yeah, he's not a victim.
It's just great.
He did what he did.
Here's the bottom line. Brendan Sorsby, when he was trying to find a new home in college football, was claiming, I have an addiction.
Yes.
This is a disease.
Well, he did have an addiction.
Wait, no, he claims, I have a disease. I have an addiction. No, it's just you're self-indulgent.
Yeah.
You just do what you want to do, and you don't care what the ramifications are. So he all of a sudden is, and I have this thing. It's like, what are you doing? Is the NFL says, what are you doing to fix this?
Yeah.
If you have this disease, what are you doing? He can't produce for them what he's doing. It's sort of like when we had a certain player in this town who wouldn't shoot the basketball, who didn't want to play basketball, who was telling us he had mental illness issues.
Right.
They said, well, what are you doing to show us where you're going to the doctor and you're doing all these things? And Ben Simmons couldn't produce it.
No, he was
it's the same thing.
Missing practice.
So the NFL is saying, when you go about fixing your problems, get back to us.
Yeah. So the big thing now, he can't. This doesn't make him just a free agent. I was with Andrew Pacheco yesterday. We were trying to figure that out. Andrew ended up texting me yesterday. So he's like ineligible to play in the NFL this year. So he can go to
Correct.
the USFL. He can go to the Canadian Football League, and next year we can revisit this conversation. But who knows, man? I mean, it's a fascinating story, going back to just the fact that he got caught. And here we are now where they are not doing the supplemental draft when that's been talked about for like 2 weeks now, 3 weeks now.
Yes, it was big.
Yeah.
I to me, look at it as this young man he hasn't done anything to his whole thing is I've got a disease. Okay, well, if you have a disease, then go on out and show me that you're doing something about it. You're going into intensive therapy.
Well,
you're trying to say you're doing all these
That's
things.
what Texas Tech told us when they thought he was still going to be their quarterback,
Exactly.
and he's not their quarterback anymore.
And he's not able to, the NFL, be able to produce what he's been doing.
Right.
So the NFL's saying, yeah. In other words, you were trying to just scam us.
So we're going to get more on this now with Shefty because, believe it or not, there were people that were saying the Eagles could be a team that they wouldn't be surprised. It's not, hey, we're hearing that the Eagles are interested. It's the Eagles have picked up projects in the past, and maybe they try to see if they can develop something. Zach Berman joined us last week. He said they did call themselves the quarterback factory at one point. So we'll talk to Adam Schefter about it now from ESPN. Joins us at this time every single week. I've missed him like the last 3 weeks because I've just been out.
Well, he was vacationing.
He was
last
vacationing.
Week.
I was vacationing. It's that time of the year.
I'm out. Time off last week. I loved hearing that because Adam taking time off is rare.
He deserves it. Shefty, good morning, man. How are you?
Good morning, man. How are we doing?
We're doing good. It's been a busy day today, non-Eagles related. Big night last night for the Phillies. Big night last night in the NBA draft. But there was also the big news during the day yesterday that there would not be a supplemental draft in the NFL.
Yeah.
Before we talk about Eagles and Sorsby, what have you heard? The reasoning being, if you could explain it to everybody, why the NFL decided we are not going to hold a supplemental draft this year, knowing who the player would be that people would be interested in.
Yeah, I think that this is just yet another sign that outwardly, publicly, the league tries to take a strong stance on gambling. Now, you could say, well, the league's got all sorts of gambling partnerships, commercials that run on its games with the networks, advertisements in stadiums for fantasy sites. So in a way, it is hypocritical, but it is the reality of the situation. The league wants no perception that the integrity of the game should be compromised. And it's up to the league to rule that there is a supplemental draft. It doesn't have to be one. And so the league is not going to go out of its way to accommodate a guy who applied to the supplemental draft 8 days ago when the league hasn't had the time it would want or need to do its due diligence to know more about his betting history, which he admitted to. And in my mind, it's just the league saying, we don't really care that you can't play football this year in college. We don't care that you're not going to play football in our league. To play in our league is a privilege. You're the one who gambled. You're the one who admitted to gambling. And we're not making an exception for somebody who gambled. Sorry. Sit out this year.
When I heard
That's basically what it is.
Adam, when I heard people talk about the hypocritical nature of the NFL because they have these association with gambling sites, I chuckle at that, honestly, because the NFL doesn't tell people to bet against their own teammates, doesn't tell people to bet irresponsibly. It's like the NFL has associations with Budweiser too. With things like that. They don't tell people to go become alcoholics. People have personal responsibility to conduct themselves as solid human beings. And this guy, and I'm so tired of hearing people sort of be like, well,
John,
it's not fair. I don't think it's fair that people put like this guy didn't have free will to do exactly what he wanted to do. He was screwing over his teammates.
Well, but again, you could make the argument. I understand your point and respect it. But you also could say, how could a league that frowns upon gambling, that says it wants no part of gambling, be involved in lucrative partnerships with gambling companies.
Because it's fans gamble. Because it's fans gamble. The people who are involved in the integrity of the games know it's part of the rules not to gamble. But the fans gamble. Andrew and I gamble. We like to gamble. But the people who are involved in the games, it should absolutely be assumed that they can conduct themselves like adults at their job and not do things. I mean,
well, listen,
that's crazy to me.
Listen, from that standpoint, the league has taken a very strong stance on gambling, as we've seen with a player like Calvin Ridley,
sure,
who was suspended for a full year. The league doesn't want any player gambling on football, doesn't want any player gambling, period, and there are strict rules. So, again, when Brendan Sorsby's admitted to this, and he's asking the league to create a draft for him, the league's like, we're not doing you a favor. We don't want you in our league right now. Too bad. We're not rushing to accommodate you. And so, to me, that's the league just saying, go stick it, basically. Okay?
Yes.
You're not playing in our league this year.
So Shefty, are there, from what you have heard leading up to this decision by the NFL, are there any teams that are pounding the table saying, damn it, we thought we had a chance here? What do you think the interest level in a player like Brendan Sorsby is, who apparently has a lot of talent, but obviously has a lot of baggage?
Two-cent head.
I'll tell you what's interesting is over the last couple of weeks when I've been floating that question to some teams, there were actually, I found, more teams saying, we're not going there. We're not touching that right now.
Wow.
Yep, I found more teams say that to me than I heard a team say to me, boy, this guy's really, like, we're taking a long, hard look at this guy. I didn't hear that as much as I had a few GMs say to me, won't be us. Interesting. Like, just ruling it out. And I was like, wow, okay.
So is there a chance that he never ends up playing in the NFL? Like, look, I'm not saying blackballed, but just like teams saying, wow, this is such a concern. We're never going to take a shot on this kid?
No, I don't believe that to be the case. And I think the league was quick to point out yesterday, we look forward to potentially, possibly welcoming you to the 2027 annual NFL draft. In other words, my takeaway there was the league is saying the 27 draft is an option for you, assuming that no other information surfaces, there are no other setbacks or screw-ups, that there's no other issues that involve you and gambling, that you apply for the draft and are approved, that we have time to look through. Like, it's not even assured that he would be in that draft, and he'll have to be on good behavior to be a part of the 27 draft, which, look, I think he will be. That's my guy. I've never met or spoken to Brendan Sorsby, but he knows what's at stake. So let's just operate under the assumption for one moment, although we operated under the assumption that there would be a supplemental draft too, and there wasn't. But let's operate under the assumption that he is going to be eligible for the 27 draft. I actually had a GM this morning call me before your call. He wanted to just talk about it. And he said to me he thought Sorsby would be a late 1, early 2. I'm like, well, why do you think that when I don't think there's any chance that if he had been in the supplemental draft that he would have been a 1? Not a chance. That's what I believe. And I always felt like it would be a 2. And so now what's going to happen, again, let's assume for a moment he's eligible. In all the draft storylines that lead up to the 27 draft, and there are going to be a lot of them because it's a great draft with a lot of quarterbacks, one of the central ones will be Brendan Sorsby and whether or not a team should take a chance on him, give him an opportunity, whatever it may be. But that will be a big storyline in the 27 draft. I still think, if I had to guess today, I would guess he's a 2. But there's a lot that's going to unfold and transpire between now and April in Washington, D.C.
It's going to be an interesting offseason. We were getting the word this week that the Eagles and the Patriots are going to have their, joint practices coming up in mid-August, pretty much towards pretty much late August, pretty much towards the end of training camp, and everybody wondering, would it be a dramatic thing? Andrew and I both yesterday were saying, yeah, we think it's going to be pretty quiet.
It's going to be a letdown.
Yeah, we think it's going to be a total letdown. Everybody thinking that it's going to be this big drama fest, but we're not expecting it. What do you expect when the Patriots and the Eagles get together?
Just another joint practice, in all honesty. I mean, it's fun to talk about that, but what do you think's going to happen? You think, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are going to give each other the cold shoulder and walk back? What do you think is going to happen?
That's what we think it's going to be, a nothing burger.
Yeah.
That it's going to be hyped up, and it's going to end up being nothing. And we really think a lot of the story, though, has probably been nothing behind the scenes. It's pretty much been nothing.
Well, it'll be hyped up because it'll be that time of the year. They'll be practicing, and everybody will be interested in training camp, and they're going. But no, it is. To me, it's not much of anything at all.
Shefty, did Kirk Cousins get Kyle Pitts paid? Because I
sort of did.
I know Kyle Pitts was a disappointment for Falcons fans for
I can't believe it.
60 some weeks in his career, and then the last 4 weeks when Kirk Cousins wins them all the games, he plays pretty well, and now he's the third highest paid tight end in the NFL all of a sudden on an annual basis?
Well, what's interesting is that through the first part of his career, everybody was waiting to see Kyle Pitts pop and explode because there were flashes and moments when you saw that guy play. You're like, whoa, is that guy talented? And we know where he was selected in the draft. And the players that he was drafted around, like Jamar Chase and Micah Parsons and Penei Sewell, that was an unbelievable draft. And Pitts went ahead of a lot of those players. So you know the kind of talent and potential he has. And it's flashed in rare moments, but not continuously. He did play well at the end of last year, and if you want to credit Kirk Cousins, that's fine. Kirk Cousins, he's done quite well business-wise from an NFL standpoint. Has made, I think, more guaranteed money than anybody in the National Football League history. But yeah, Kirk Cousins helped to make money, but Kyle Pitts played well when it mattered, when his contract was on the line, and it got him paid with a 3-year, $54 million deal yesterday.
You are you're a beacon of some information at this time of year, because you know what happens in June. Everybody's wondering, looking for some little tidbit. This Sorsby thing was about it this week.
Yeah.
Everybody's going with the NBA draft. I know you were probably scouting for your fantasy team for next year. So the Sixers, 3 small guards now.
I'm always scouting for my fantasy team, and I don't know, the rookies, I don't know much about them just yet. We'll start paying attention in some way. John, I've got 5 championships in 9 years. We're going for 6 and 10, okay? We're not messing around. We'll be studying the summer league.
I understand.
We'll be ready for that.
I understand the word. Now, we can break the news now on the station is that Adam was up for the Sixers job, but they couldn't afford him, and Mike Gansey got it.
I could see that.
They
being
couldn't
the
afford
issue,
you.
yeah.
You wouldn't come off your price tag. So that's what I heard. So
I heard from a couple of headhunters about the job, trying to gauge my interest level. And I told them that I was, frankly, more concerned with going for my 6th fantasy war room title in 10 years.
Well, that's impressive stuff, Shefty.
You're the man.
Wait, one more thing. Brandon Ayuk, does he end up with the Commanders? Because he was on his IG Live, loving it.
Oh, jeez.
That's your one more thing?
My God.
Brandon Ayuk?
Oh, yeah. Is he going to be in the Eagles division? I'm curious.
I don't know what's going on with that guy right now. Let's just say I think the videos speak for themselves. How about that? I'll let him represent himself.
There you go.
Sounds good, Shefty. We appreciate the time, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Adam Schefter. Yeah, so Brandon Ayuk, who, remember, really, really good player in college, really good player at the beginning of his career with the Niners. This dude is a problem.
He's a problem person.
Big problem. But he went on Instagram yesterday or 2 days ago screaming, "Go Commanders, go Commanders, go Commanders, raise hail, take command." just chanting "Go Commanders" on it. This guy's unhinged right now. He's also making it really clear he doesn't want to be the Niners anymore.
He's been unhinged.
Yeah,
he's been unhinged. He's again. It's sort of like the Sorsby story. How could you ever want him as a teammate?
I don't know.
He's on his app, betting against his teammates, betting unders against his teammates, betting that they're going to have crappy performances.
Sorsby, not IU.
Sorsby, excuse me. Sorsby. How could you ever want him as a teammate?
I don't know.
Like it's just like this guy is such a fraud.
Yeah.
He's such a fraud.
George Kittle, his current teammate, was on Part of My Take with the Barstool guys. And was asked about Brandon Ayuk, and this was his quote. "I used to make it a habit of mine to go out early in the morning before meetings to watch him train because he'd always be out there early, and I watched him run over 22 miles an hour and watch him stop on a dime. He still got it, but that was 8 months ago, so I don't really know." You guys have fun with that, I guess. You have fun with all that comes with them. You're right. I wouldn't be happy either after a team paid me $130 million. The guy's nuts.
Yeah, he's nuts.
The way, remember he was driving like 95 miles per hour past the facility.
He's certifiable. And then Instagramming live.
Yeah, dude's
Another
insane.
wide receiver,
Which, by the way,
kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, gets you a ticket.
Yeah, I wonder
That gets
if
you
he
a
did.
ticket. They can give you a ticket for
yeah,
that
'cause you're-
if you are such a dope.
You're admitting it to it.
Yes, and you're giving them the evidence that you did it.
All right, coming up next. Mike Yancey spoke after the Sixers selected Labaron Philon last night. We played a couple clips for you earlier on, but if you missed them, we'll run through a bunch more coming up next. It is Kincade and Salciunas 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A huge comeback for the Phils. I'm Connor Thomas. The Phillies had one of the wildest finishes to a game that you'll ever see last night, taking down the Nationals 14-9. How they got there is even crazier than that score. They went down 8-6 in the 8th inning, then rallied for 8 runs in the 9th, all 8 of those runs coming with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Brandon Marsh had a strike on him. The game was almost over. Here's what he did.
Fly ball deep to right field. Woods going back. This game is tied. A long home run for Brandon Marsh. It's an 8-8 game.
Great call by Tom McCarthy there on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Jesus Luzardo also had a career-high 13 strikeouts in the game. Game 3 is tonight at 6:45 p.m. Aaron Nola faces Miles Michaelis. The Sixers stayed at 22 last night. Selected guard Labaron Philon Jr. out of Alabama. He averaged 22 points, 3.5 boards, 5 assists in his sophomore season last year with the Crimson Tide. Now he joins Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe in a strong young backcourt here in Philly. The second round is tonight at 8 p.m. Sixers don't currently have a second-round pick. We'll see if they trade to acquire one. The Flyers are on the clock Friday night with pick number 21 in the first round of the NHL draft. Tony Jones of The Athletic will join us at 9:05 to break down the Sixers draft selection. This update is brought to you by the Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, develops better people and better athletes through sports. Info at positivecoach.org. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app. So let's do that. Now, Andrew Salciunas has the day off today. It is not because of a clip that went viral from our show last week about Jalen Hurts. He's got regular vacation, but he was getting ripped because he said his number one question for the Eagles this year is about Jalen Hurts' performance at the quarterback position with the change in offense, Sean Mannion now taking over. What is your evaluation of that? Is that your number one question?
My number one question for this team this year would be if the offensive line can stay healthy and hold up. And it's not a very sexy question, right? Like, if the offensive line isn't healthy, we can't get Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens and Lane Johnson back to health, I don't care what plays Sean Mannion's calling. They're not going to have much of a chance. The offensive line has to be better. It has to be healthier. They've been the foundation of that team for so long. They've been responsible for so much success. We're talking about elite, all-time Eagle talents. So I don't say this in a critical way, but I say it in a way in which the offensive line has had to play through some injuries, and it's aging. And are they going to hold up and hold together? If they do, it's going to be a great season. If they don't, it's not. To me, that's where it starts.
The San Luquito piece that came out with Carson Wentz, and
yeah.
So there was a lot of defense of Carson. I guess what I'm saying is, independent of Carson Wentz, does it feel like the Eagles have Jalen Hurts' back after everything that's been put out there in the media and everything?
I mean, I don't feel like they've run the bus over him, but I do remember when the Carson Wentz article came out. They went into a damage control mode. I think they had Carson meeting with some reporters afterward to give his side of the story and clear the air. And I don't know if their reaction this time around is a result of that, like a byproduct of, do we really have to do this every time, because it's really not necessary, or if it's because they just don't. I don't think it's because of their relationship with Jalen Hurts right now. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think that it's Philly. This is going to happen. Stories are going to come out. It's been coming out even before Carson. So you have different people in charge now too. It's not Doug Peterson and his crew anymore. So I thought Howie didn't do the greatest job of backing up Jalen Hurts, but I also didn't think he was rolling the. Some people interpreted it as that's messaging from Howie. I didn't interpret it that way at all.
With Lamar, it's changed.
You're right.
He's won the MVP and he's never made a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Lamar's not 25 years old, right? Josh Allen, as far as I'm concerned, needs to start getting criticized. Because if you're going to hold everybody to the same standard, then guess what, Josh, you haven't been to a Super Bowl. It can't be the team's fault every time. Joe Burrow's took a terrible organization to the Super Bowl, right? So Joe Burrow, just by going to a Super Bowl, kind of gets checked off that list. It's like, all right, you're not in the same. No, like Justin Herbert. What are we doing here? Justin Herbert's not in this rookie contract.
Nope.
Justin Herbert's lost how many big games?
A lot.
A lot, right? Is it all his fault? It doesn't matter if it's all his fault. Doesn't matter. It's the quarterback. And Justin Herbert, how many playoff games has Justin Herbert won? Has he? Has he won one?
Didn't he just win one?
I think he won one.
I know he threw a bunch of interceptions that one game against Houston. That was the loss, obviously. And I think last year he was able to get a win, right? Let me pull that up.
All I'm saying is at what point do these quarterbacks start getting criticized? Lamar Jackson's fair game. He's not winning the big game. That's a good organization. Now they have a new head coach coming in. And I like Lamar. The dude just needs to get to a Super Bowl, period.
He hasn't won one.
He hasn't won it. Are you crazy? And when people talk about Justin Herbert nationally, oh, my God, Justin Herbert. What a great quarterback. What a great player. Even the one time we were talking about him on the air after he lost the playoff game, it was like, oh, that's the offensive line. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
But where are the details on Jalen Hurts? The only details we worry about are Jalen Hurts. Lamar Jackson gets a little bit of it.
This is Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
It is 8:30 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. I am #adulting today, Connor.
You are.
John and I talking about it during the break. I have to go get my vehicle inspected today.
Ooh, that's fun.
I had to do my vehicle registration renewal just now during the break. People might wonder, what do you guys do during the break? You guys plan your next segment? No, I plan my vehicle renewal registration.
No, but it's good though to be able to do that. Now I'm going to. I will adult tonight. Now, Connor, you were not a Ozark guy.
I loved Ozark.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's one of the best shows of all time.
You an Ozark
I
or
watched
not?
like the first and second season.
Like I was. And by the way, Rodman did not watch the finale.
How do you not watch the finale?
He watched up to the finale and didn't watch the finale. And I'm like, are you madness? Because tonight I'll be at the Birdhouse.
Oh, how about that?
Tonight I'll be at
Restaurant.
Marty and Wendy's house tonight as it's the kickoff of our the 25th. It's the 25th anniversary of the charity golf tournament that I founded with my old partner down in Georgia. And so I'm flying down after the show, and it's the 25th anniversary of it for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. And tonight we'll be at the Birdhouse for happy hour. Like that? So where that Wendy Bird, who I think is absolutely the greatest. Like she is, if she's not the biggest villainess ever, character that I hated,
yeah,
she's right there.
She's worse than Skylar.
She's
Skylar
worse.
White.
She's worse than
Skylar
Skylar.
White's.
I think Skylar's terrible. She's worse. She's worse than Skylar.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, so.
All right. So Mike Yancey, after the selection yesterday, of course, had a lot to say about Labaron Philon, the 6'2" guard out of Alabama. He fits right in home.
Alabama.
Fits right in home with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe. But they needed guards because they traded one away. Quentin Grimes is who he is. And you didn't have anybody else. You really didn't have anybody else. So you need guards. I get the undersized thing that people are concerned about. You need somebody that can provide you a scoring punch off the bench. You had one guy that could have done that last year. You traded him away. So now you needed to select somebody that could fit that spot. Mike Yancey had nothing to do with Jared McCain. Mike Yancey had nothing to do with having pick 22 other than using pick 22. So after the selection of Philon, he obviously spoke to members of the media. Here is Mike Yancey talking about Philon.
You know, I was in Cleveland, a month ago. We had 29, and 22 sounded a lot better. So we liked our range, and you know, we felt like someone was going to fall to us that we really liked. You know, maybe not Labaron because we had him a lot higher, but we knew going in, like, we're going to get a player that can maybe play for us right away. You know, like, it's going to take time for all rookies, but, like, I think this is a really deep draft, at least in the top 20-ish range of guys. And, you know, Labaron was one of the best players in the country at the guard position. And, you know, a little bit surprised he fell to us, but there's so many good guards in this draft where, you know, all those guys that went in maybe the teens, they might be top 10 in normal drafts, but just with the depth, especially at the guard position, that he was just someone we couldn't pass up.
I think he's also making it clear that if they didn't select Labaron, they were going guard. Just the way he was talking about the depth of the guard position in this draft, there were so many good guards. It doesn't sound like he was going to do a little switch, all of a sudden draft the backup center.
I thought they were going guard I just felt they were going guard all along because of where they were, more about where they were drafting and the perceived value of guards at that spot in the draft.
I saw
and that they weren't moving. That they said he doesn't have the clout, like he didn't have the stuff to be able to move up.
Right.
And so I didn't see them moving out of it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think they're going guard, and they ended up going guard.
I saw I don't know if it was an Eagles fan or a football. I think it was an Eagles fan put out on social media yesterday. Like, all right, somebody explain this to me in Eagles terms. I'm not a big basketball guy. And somebody said Jahad Campbell. Like, very talented player that fell late in the first round. You already had a linebacker in Kobe Dean. But this is also more so about the future than it is the now. And I was like, that's actually not a bad comparison by whoever said that on social media.
Great work, Random Citizen.
I give that Random Citizen credit. Gansey, continue. Now, one of the big things that people are upset about because they're so caught up on the current version of this team and aren't thinking about the future of this team, which is not with Paul George and not with Joel Embiid. And you're kind of drafting for the future. Sure, if they can go alongside these guys, that's an added bonus. But, well, they already have Maxey and Edgecombe. Yeah, they can't play 48 minutes every single night, and Gansey pretty much made that clear yesterday.
For sure. I mean, you need as many guards as you can that can go create a shot. And he's obviously one of the best in college. And, I think for us, too, like, Tyrese was number 1 in minutes last year. VJ was up there as a rookie, I think 5th. Like, this also helps coach. Like, he doesn't have to play those guys. We need depth at that guard position. I think he can come in and, play some minutes and take a load off those two. And I think he can play with Tyrese a little bit. He's on the slighter side. He's got to get stronger. But if you look at his stuff, especially his freshman year at Alabama, he really guarded. And I think this year he had to carry a huge offensive load. So I think he took a little bit of a step back there. But I know it's in him. He's got good instincts, good hands. He's tough. He'll get into people. He's competitive. So, and like you said, we just can't have enough guards. Being in Cleveland, we needed guards, because in the playoffs, it's half court. You got to go get a bucket. And, I think Labaron can go get one anytime he wants.
It's a great answer. The only thing I'll push back on toward Mike Gansey about is to say that'll help coach. You're right. It will help coach. Part of the reason why Jared McCain was traded was because the coach wasn't playing him all that much. I mean, that does
Maybe he doesn't see this player as Jared McCain.
Maybe he doesn't. Yeah.
Maybe
he doesn't.
I mean, the one thing that can be pointed is the defensive deficiencies. Maybe, I don't know.
You can get better.
You can get better.
How often do we use the term willing?
Correct.
Willing defender.
Because Tyrese is
he's not a good defender, but he's a willing defender.
Tyrese is he?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I think Tyrese is a situational willing defender.
No, he tries to steal balls and get into passing lanes, and he makes mistakes because he's not that great of a defender. But I don't see Tyrese Maxey ever.
I don't think he's a malingerer.
He doesn't take plays off.
I'm not saying he's a malingerer, but I'm telling you is that I don't believe I don't think he's a guy who really puts a lot into his defensive.
I think he tries. I think he's bad
think so
at
too.
it.
Yeah, just
really?
undersized.
I think there's
Has his defensive play really improved in the NBA? I do not believe
That's not
it has.
what we're saying. It's not about improving.
Just willing.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Is
Get
work.
a guy off
he
the
works.
spot.
I don't think he works at his defensive game. I haven't seen it improve in his career here with the Sixers.
Oh, it's markedly improved from where he was as a young player to where he is now. He's just got a ceiling because of the size.
Yeah, he tries.
Oh no, he tries. I don't question the try. I'm not questioning him.
He's willing, John.
I'm not questioning him trying.
He's a willing defender.
A willing defender.
All right, one more clip for you. He doesn't really go deep into this, but the question had to be asked yesterday. One of the reporters that was at the press conference yesterday did ask, like, hey, so you drafted a 6'2" guard that you kind of already had last year, who got traded away for the pick that you were able to use tonight on Labaron. And this was Gansey's response.
Yeah, I mean, again, I wasn't here, but we got him at 22, and I hope he's good. I hope he's someone that the Sixers are going to like as much as Jarrett, and he'll have to prove that, and we're excited to have him. So, we're very, 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 very excited for him, and excited to get him in here in a couple days.
All right. And there he is. There's Mike Gansey, president of basketball operations for the Philadelphia 76ers. I see Dawood on our YouTube chat saying what he would push back on Gansey, saying, yeah, that's what we did in Cleveland, as if Cleveland lit the world on fire or something. I will say Cleveland did something last year that the Sixers have not done in 20-plus years. They got out of the second round. So, and they've won, what would this math be? 116 games over the last 2 seasons. They won 52 last year, 64 the year before that. Cleveland's been okay.
They've been okay.
They've been okay.
They've been like honestly, they're like the Sixers were when they weren't winning playoff games in like the early 2020s.
Yeah, and then they got to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and we'll see what they do
They
this
got better than the Sixers have in a long time.
Look, everybody has a philosophy, right? So to Dawood's point, Dawood might not like that kind of philosophy where you have an abundance of guards. Daryl Morey's philosophy was let me get former superstars. Let me get stars.
Let me get
older players because his belief was veterans win in the NBA, and he just missed the boat by a couple of years because the Thunder proved him wrong in that situation. The Spurs have now proven that wrong, even though they didn't win a championship. They got to a championship. Daryl Morey missed the boat on that here in Philadelphia. I need to get older players. I'm going to get rid of all the young assets that we have to try to get even older. And that's part of the reason why we're at where we're at right now.
And it's what I say, and it's what I'm saying to you is the warning sign with Dave Dombrowski. Daryl Morey, with all due respect to Daryl, didn't give a flip about the Sixers fans that are going to be here 3, 5, 10 years from now. He doesn't care. All he cared about is his legacy, his team right now. I'll push all my chips in to try to make something happen for me.
Because he thought that's how
for him.
He would win. Right.
For his
That's
legacy.
his belief.
Now, I'm not going to be here to pay the price. Hey, Daryl, that could be a bad move. In 3 years from now, this could really be bad. Well, what do I care? I won't be here. Dave Dombrowski, it's the same exact thing right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a damn. With these contracts he's given out, with the old people, the Golden Girls he's put together, he doesn't give a damn. He'll be in Franklin.
The thing with both those guys, they both were hired in this city to win now. Like, neither of those guys were brought in here to rebuild.
Yeah, I got you. But you also have to be able to see a vision.
Part of the job, though, is you have to go, I'm not burning down the house to try to win. Set the team into a decade
guys that have done that in other places, that's what you should pretty much expect.
Yeah, but you know what? The Phillies, Dombrowski didn't try to burn down this place. Yeah. Dombrowski actually tried to build a farm system. How's that going for us? Come up at 9:05, Tony Jones will join us. He put out a tweet last night. We've played you Gansey clips about Philon. Gansey apparently also hinted at bringing in another ball handler. Now, could that be Quentin Grimes back? Could that be somebody else? You're going to have another guard in this rotation. It's just a matter of who. Tony joins us at 9:05, but coming up next, we started this hour talking football with Shefty. We obviously just played you a lot of clips from Mike Gansey about the selection of Philon. The Phillies had a great comeback last night, and before the week started, Johnny, we asked if they could be within 5 by the end of the week. They took another step closer. We'll talk about it next here on The Fanatic.
Hey, let's say you're getting ready to move. Let's say you've got a garage that looks like Silence of the Lambs. Let's say you have an attic that you have to get some stuff out of. Well, get yourself a Bagster, the dumpster in a bag. It's the perfect cleanup solution for all of the projects. The Bagster. It's the most convenient, the most affordable way to help with a cleanup project. The Bagster, just $29.99. A 3-cubic yard dumpster in a bag. You can get it at Home Depot, Lowe's, local home improvement stores. $29.99, you get it. Let's say you bought one today, Joe. On the way home, you go get yourself a Bagster, and then just have it. You don't have to set it up today. You set it up at your convenience, and then get after cleaning stuff up. Clean out the garage. Get rid of the junk that you've been keeping in your house, and then schedule a pickup, and it'll be gone. There's no time limits. It's completely on demand. So go to thebagster.com and find the store nearest you. Get more details at thebagster.com because I'm telling you right now, clean it up with the Bagster. It's a dumpster, a bag.
Gotcha.
You know the saying up the creek
without a paddle?
Yeah. I love how everybody's like, go get Mike Trout, go get this guy, go get that guy, go get Christian Walker. What the hell are you going to trade for him?
Well, then that leads me to my next question for you.
Unbelievable.
When you look at their top 10 prospects,
yep.
Talking about the Phillies, Aiden Miller still ranked number 1, although he's hurt. And number 2, quickly rising up the ranks, is Gage Wood. Would either one of those guys be untouchable for you at this deadline if it meant you could get that impact outfielder? Would you trade Gage Wood? Would you trade Aiden Miller? Because here's where I am, Ricky, before you answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very concerned about the future of the Philadelphia Phillies, right? I'm very concerned that the farm system has been depleted. But at the same time, I don't believe it's going to be Gage Wood that's going to make or break this team 3 or 4 years from now. Because guess what happens 3 or 4 years from now? You got a lot of old guys on this team.
And
so you need to go all in now because it's your best chance in the next 5 years. If they don't go all in at this deadline and do everything possible to fix this lineup or fix the back end of the bullpen before Duran, maybe even get another starter, you're not going to win a World Series. And if you don't win a World Series this season, there could be a lockout next year. You might not have Zach Wheeler in 2028. Harper's going to be 2 years older. Schwarber's going to be 2 years older. Realmuto's going to be 2 years older. Trey Turner's going to be 2 years older. Like, you see where if you don't do it this year, the future does not look bright for the Philadelphia Phillies, and you don't have any prospects that are coming to save the day. So it's weird because I'm not sure, even if they go out at the deadline and they get an impact bat in the outfield or they get another reliever, that they're even going to be good enough to beat the Dodgers at that point. But I think you are forced, if you're Dombrowski, to at least try.
Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, we are indeed back. It is Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Coming up in a few minutes, John Kincade will have to pick what he would order. Because yesterday we had an incredible experience in Chinatown. Me and Andrew DeCecco had been talking about this for a long time now, that we were going to go to Chinatown. He had never been. And I know that Andrew DeCecco is a big fan of spicy food. And there is spicy food at your local suburban Chinese restaurant, and then there's like going to Chinatown, and there's like the rating scale. What was yours? Did you have?
I had the one chili.
You had the one chili. All right, mine was a 3 chili piece, which was the max.
Yeah, you were sweating.
Yeah, dude, I was soaked. It's bad. It's something that my body just does not handle well. I can eat spicy food, no problem. Like, I'm not like, oh my God, somebody give me a gallon of milk. I just sweat profusely. So we're gonna make John pick which one he would order. Come up in a little bit.
Do you sweat out of your head?
Everywhere, dude. It's disgusting. Connor, you were right across from me. Like, you could
Connor,
get
he
looked like
you
he
talking
stuck
about
his head in his bowl of
so
soup.
at the table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connor, foxhole move, asked for more napkins because he saw how
wait a
much
minute.
I was struggling.
What did we eat in
those
New
were for
Orleans?
me,
I
but
did see
we'll
you
count
do
it.
this. We ate in New Orleans somewhere, and something you ate, you mopped yourself a little bit. And you said,
it was the jambalaya bowl.
It was the jambalaya.
Yeah, dude, and it's like the Tabasco sauce makes me sweat. But
you want the Tabasco sauce.
But I love and it doesn't bother my mouth. Like, I'm not like, oh my God,
No,
I can't eat
you're
this.
not. You eat it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I think I said to you, I'm like, well, then why are you eating it?
Because
if
it's
good, yeah, you see, you're like Doc, like my brother does that too. He likes the hot. We find stuff.
Yeah.
My daughter goes, Oh, Uncle Tom would love that.
Love this, yeah.
Would love this.
I know our man Mopar's like that. He sweats profusely, but he loves it.
But he wants to find like the hottest stuff.
Well, not even like you like, oh, look what I can do.
Oh,
It's just
no.
you like the taste of it.
We try to find. There's a store up at the Philadelphia Outlet Mall, the Philadelphia Premium Outlets up in Ray Dunland, where they have they have it's a hot stuff store.
Oh, okay.
And we try to find stuff that will. Whenever my daughter is, she's like, we got to find stuff for Uncle Tom.
Yeah.
She's, she goes, oh, Uncle Tom will never try that. This is like the 3 Mile Island.
But he will.
He will.
Yeah.
And he'll go, oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was all. He's dripping in sweat.
Like, well, yeah.
No, I had to get changed when I got home. Like my shirt was that wet. Like,
that's terrible.
It's
See,
gross.
that's not pleasant to me.
Tastes
That's
good.
not pleasant.
All right, we asked before the week started, can the Phillies get within 5?
Yes, they
of
could.
the Atlanta
potentially.
Braves, and we all agreed.
We all agreed they could.
Because you were worried about the Mets
No, you were on
series.
the- you were on the-
I was on the fence.
You were wishy-washy about this national series, which, by the way, you called the first game. They lost game one.
They were never winning that game.
I said that I was saying that I could see a 4-3 week.
Yes. But it wasn't
I said-
necessarily
yeah.
just what the Phils were doing. It's the Braves who are ahead of the Phillies right now. Braves lose last night to the San Diego Padres.
They've lost 8 straight at San Diego.
Which is crazy.
And the Phillies just tend to do well out there.
Yeah. They
just a
they
weird
beat them
thing.
in 6 games this
But it's
year.
a weird thing. Like the Phillies can't win at San Francisco. The Braves can't win at San Diego.
Yeah.
Baseball's weird, man.
Baseball's
Like, it's
weird. Fernando Tatis Jr., by the way, speaking of weird, only his 3rd home run. I mean, he doesn't have any fungus in his hair or whatever.
Well, no, I think it's
whatever
called,
he claimed.
I think it's called, what is it? It's called, cheating.
He hit his
cheating.
3rd home run of the season last night. We'll take it against the Braves. So the Braves lose. Phils win with that incredible comeback. Phils now 5.5 games back of the Braves. And still, the Phillies have the Nationals the rest of this week. And then after the Nationals, they have the Mets again, who they just took care of business 2 of 3 against. The Braves, on the other hand, still in this series with San Diego. 1 more game tonight.
And then
3 in San Francisco against the Giants. Now, the Giants are a bleeps show right now.
Well, the Phillies are playing the Mets, who are a bleep show.
Right. I'm just saying the Braves might win all their games against San Francisco.
The Braves' rotation right now is a mess.
Yeah, the Giants are dealing with things like more than just on the field at this point. Like, there's a lot going on with the San
They got
Francisco.
guys turning down pinch runners, and
Devers doing that. Buster Posey had a day yesterday. It's a lot. And oh, by the way, this is all with a manager that has never managed in Major League Baseball, has never been a part of Major League Baseball. So the Giants could bottom out like really quick.
By the way, he's such a.
He's in over his head right
He's
now.
totally in over
Yeah,
his head.
he's in over
such
his
a
head.
he's such a poser.
Well,
he's
and
just
then
like
and then you have a guy like Rafael Devers, who's the highest paid player on your team, and he's not.
Did you see what?
Doesn't seem easy
Did you
to
see
work
what
with.
Did you see the manager's answer, Tony, whatever his name is, or
Volo.
whatever? Hey, so I heard that you two might be butting heads or whatever, and he's like, "No, are you kidding me? If he called me and said he was having beef with somebody, and called me, I'd say, whose car are we taking to go take care of it?"
He's got your back, bro.
I'm like, dude, you're trying so hard to be a bro.
Yeah.
You're trying so hard to just kiss ass.
Well,
You're trying so hard to be one of the boys. He's trying so hard to just. You're not one of them.
Yeah, and they're not.
You're supposed to be the
They're not
manager.
win- they're
You're
not winning.
supposed to be the manager. You're supposed to be the leader, and he's trying so hard to be a bro.
Maybe they'll turn it around. Maybe Rafael Devers will say, you know what? I like that. I'm going to hit 9 home runs against the Braves.
I don't
and
think
we'll
that's
win.
going to be it.
But the Phils 5.5 back. They could still make it within 5 by the end of the week, which is what we were asking. All right, Johnny, yesterday, Chinatown. Connor and Austin with the same order, which is always disappointing.
Why? You want to eat off each other's plates?
No, we got the same thing.
No, I'm saying I'm asking him
I
why
find it
why it's a confusing order.
I just find it disappointing.
First of all, dudes don't do that, right?
No.
Thank you.
No, I just found it
The
disappointing.
Checo's not any part of that.
No.
Thank you.
So, John, you have to pick which one, and I know what you're going to pick because it seems like the most normal in terms of us Americans of the Chinese restaurant. Connor and Austin both.
But you said there was a rule though.
I
going in,
I told
and I
Austin,
would have ordered that.
Austin said he was going to get General Tso's. I'm like, no, dude, you're in Chinatown, dude. Like,
Yeah, get something that's something.
You can't, like,
But
you
I
can
would have ordered
get
the General
Tso's anywhere, and it's going to be good. Don't get me wrong, I love General Tso's. It is my go-to order anytime I go to Mandarin Oriental in Sewell, New Jersey. Shout out to you, Mandarin Oriental. But I was like, look, we're in Chinatown, man. Like, we got to, let's spruce it up
I
here.
would have ordered the General Tso's, though, so I'm telling you.
So Austin played along, and he went with the Kung Pao chicken, as did Connor. So you guys both went Kung Pao chicken. The Checo, sizzling black pepper lamb in foil with veggies, and he asked for extra heat because his did not have any chilies.
Oh, it
on
didn't have the chili
menu.
markers on it, so it had none.
So he got added like chili oil.
Okay.
I had the 3 chilies next to mine, which was the sour spicy pot with fatty beef, radishes, and shirataki noodles. Dude, it was delicious.
Okay, I bet. By the way, it sounds delicious. I do not do lamb.
Okay.
I do not like lamb, so that would have been out.
You would have eaten mine. It basically tasted
I would've-
like cheesesteak in broth.
Okay, the fatty meat, what does that mean?
Fatty beef. It was basically cheesesteak. Like when you get a cheesesteak, you're not getting prime rib. You're not, you know what I mean? If you're going to one of the big cheesesteak joints, you're not getting the best quality meat.
No.
So that's
exactly.
basically what I got in my bowl of broth.
Okay.
And it was delicious. Which one would you order?
I would have absolutely gone the way of Connor and Austin.
You would have gone the Kung Pao.
Yeah, I would have gone more. But remember, my wife and daughter, they like the place that has the chicken beaks or whatever hanging in the window in Chinatown.
Yeah. That's the good places, man.
They go to those places. When they go to Chinatown, they go there.
That's how you know.
I do not eat with them.
We went to
I do
Imai yesterday.
And you know what? You guys have also been making frequent visits. To
I
what?
haven't.
Since yesterday.
You keep on saying that. I have not. Connor has. I have not.
But I also ate shrimp that I left out on my coffee table.
Yeah, that's on.
For like 10 hours.
For 10 hours. He told me about
What am I going to waste it?
Yes.
Seafood's good forever.
No, it's not. All right, coming up
You guys are
next.
soft.
That is terrible.
Tony Jones joins us at
He's not
9:05. What else will the Sixers do? Sixers right now don't have a pick in the second round. Mike Gansey made it seem like they might get back into the second round today. His thoughts on the selection of Philon, what else they can do this offseason. And for people still wondering, was this pick about here and now or down the road? Tony can talk about it all with us next here on The Fanatic. All right, let's talk about that FanDuel Sportsbook app. On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge, is changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them. Well, not anymore with FanDuel Super Sub. If your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves a match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So it's really cool that they've been doing this throughout the start of the World Cup. What I've been saying all week long is for this Thursday night, if you still want some skin in the game for Team USA, do that. The beauty of this FanDuel Super Sub, because this game means literally nothing. If it comes out that the full starting lineup will be playing for Team USA against Turkey, you can bet anybody, and whoever subs in for them, which that might happen in the second half because this game means nothing. If they win, nothing changes. If they lose, nothing changes. Your bet still stays in action. You just have whoever the new player is at the original odds at the bet that you made. So check them out. FanDuel.com/local to get started now. That's FanDuel.com/local. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel, especially for the USA. You got to be 21 plus. President, Pennsylvania. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A historic ninth inning. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Phillies had one of the craziest finishes to a game that you will ever see in Washington last night, winning Game 2 by a score of 14-9. They went down 8-6 in the eighth inning, and then all they did in the ninth was score 8 runs, all of those coming with 2 outs. They become just the second Major League Baseball team to ever accomplish that. It's the first time in Phillies history it happened. Brandon Marsh and Bryson Stott both had huge homers in the late rally. Here's how it sounded for Bryson Stott.
Bryson Stott smokes it to deep right field toward the pole. It is gone! He did it! And the Phillies are back on top. It's 11-8.
they'd stay on top for good. Great call by Tom McCarthy there over at NBC Sports Philadelphia. Jesus Luzardo also had a career-high 13 strikeouts in the game. Game 3 is tonight at 6:45. Aaron Nola versus Miles Michaelis. Sixers stuck at 22. Selected guard Labaron Philon Jr. out of Alabama. He averaged 22, 3.5, and 5 in his sophomore season last year with the Crimson Tide. And now he becomes part of a strong young backcourt with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe. The second round tonight at 8 p.m. Sixers don't currently hold a second-round pick, so we'll see if they make a trade for one. Flyers are on the clock Friday night with pick number 21 in the first round of the NHL draft. We'll talk to Tony Jones of The Athletic coming up next for his reaction to what the Sixers did in the first round last night. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Should the Phillies trade for Mike Trout? Should the Phillies trade for Skubal? Because you know what? Here, kids, the Phillies don't have what it takes to get either player. Spoiler alert, they don't have the quality of talent that it would take to get the two most sought-after players that could be available at the trade deadline. Now, there will be a lot of gas bags in this market. Hopefully they're not in this building that will tell you, oh, they should go get Skubal. They should go get Mike Trout. They can't get Mike Trout. Here's the reason. The Phillies have problems right now. Can they go to their minor league system and go get some top prospects? Somebody to call up that everybody would say, hey, this could solve a problem? Andrew was just talking about it. Hell no. It looks like the picked-over shelves at a Giant the day before a blizzard. They got nobody. Nobody's coming to save the day from the minor league system. There is nothing coming to help the problem. So if you don't have prospects that are ready to come up and ready to help you at the major league level, how do you think you are going to be able to get one of the top pitchers on the market or top players on the market? Especially,
we know you want to hear more of what Andrew and John have to say. Don't worry, we will. But first, let's hear what they got into earlier today on Kincade and Salciunas.
The Philadelphia 70 selectors draft the guy to replace the guy they traded for the 22nd overall pick.
I said it yesterday, and I didn't say it jokingly, that they were going to replace the draft pick that they traded away. And I like the pick.
Let's get this out of the way. Mike Yancey has nothing to do with Jared McCain.
Nothing at all.
Mike Yancey had nothing to do with the 22nd overall pick other than making the selection of the pick that he walked into when he was hired by the Philadelphia 76ers.
He's not to blame. He's trying to clean up a mess.
And so he's looking around and goes, all right, I need guards because they don't have any. And oh, by the way, this guy can score, so let's select Labaron Philon out of Alabama with the 22nd overall pick. That had nothing to do with Daryl Morey. It's Mike Yancey's selection. It's Bob Myers' selection.
I like the fact that he's doing his thing, and he doesn't really care about what happened in the past before he got here. He's doing what he thinks is the right thing to do for the future of the franchise. Good job, Mike Yancey.
Now back to the show.
And so what we've been talking about this morning, we've obviously also been celebrating the Phillies' great come-from-behind win yesterday, in which I went to bed after Orion Kirkland gave up the 3-run home run. So one of our topics today for you to text in or call in or voice memo in is what's the game that you missed the finale of or you missed the entirety of? John, you gave the 2004 TO injury because of a first birthday party.
Yeah, and I watched it late, and then I had to leave the 31-10, which is different when the Deshaun run back of the great comeback of that one, which was also Olivia's birthday party. So both of those were on your birthdays.
Yeah, that one was
on your birthdays.
Great.
You share a birthday with my daughter, so it was your birthdays. Both of those.
What year
games.
was that?
2008. 2008? 2008, if I'm not mistaken.
Because that was so.
Well, it was American Girl Cafe. So
2010.
2010.
So
she was probably
turned 17.
She was 7. So it was your maybe 6th birthday, 7th birthday, 7th birthday.
Yeah, 7th. I
so
turned
17.
7th
birthday.
I was like, I've always been a sports nut, so my birthday party was come over and watch the Eagles game, and
that's
that was
cool.
a great birthday celebration, watching the Eagles
Get
come back.
pizza and stuff
yeah,
and all that kind of stuff, which is fun. So that's good.
So what do we have on the Davis Honda text line, Connor? Have more people chimed in with games that they missed? We had a guy call in earlier, Caleb from Westchester, missed the last 2 minutes of Super Bowl 59 because of the birth of his child. So pretty good reason as to why. What do we have on the text line?
Yeah, we have a texter who checks in who says, I missed the Nick Foles 7-touchdown game against the Raiders. I was at the art museum with my wife. Nick Foles was scoring 7 touchdowns, having a Hall of Fame worthy game. And I'm at the boring-ass museum staring at old swords and spears I don't care about. I was pissed. Needless to say, that was a very silent drive home.
Wait. Regardless, I still think it's crazy. Were they married at the time?
Says with my wife.
Because here's the deal. Like, my wife knows, forget this job. She knows I'm watching like, we would not plan the museum trip on a Sunday Eagles game.
Like, who's
Sometimes
doing
we got to give one up.
No. You only get maximum 20 of them a year.
You do not do that at all. No, you do not give up Christina knows.
No.
The Eagles schedule comes out. John is unavailable. So
would you go to the Franklin Institute Saturday and you couldn't go to the museum Sunday?
No,
go Sunday?
So what you say is that John is available going, okay, so Sundays I know is out,
but
Saturday. Other days are available, especially for daddy stuff, for family stuff.
Was there like can you text why were you at the museum? Was there like a group event? Was there a party? Was it something where like he had to go, could not miss it? Or was this no, this is what we're doing today? And he fell victim to that.
Yeah, I'll follow up.
Yeah, I want to hear that. I got to hear
text came in like 2 hours ago.
I got to hear the details of that one.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people left a game and didn't stay for and I was in attendance in the stands for it for Mitchie Poo.
Oh, the 4:41 in the morning.
And I am in the stands
That's good work
watching it at that hour.
You weren't working mornings
Rain delays.
At the time.
No, but I was going to Brian Gill's wedding that day, which was like a noon wedding. And I probably was working on like 3 hours sleep.
Yeah,
Sorry about that, Brian. But
Yeah,
it's
drink a couple of espresso martinis. You're good. I don't know if those were made back then.
I don't drink coffee.
All right. What else do we have on the text line before we get to our man, Tony?
All right. We also have a check-in. Speaking of the Sixers and what we're going to talk about with Tony, another check-in on the draft pick last night. This texter says, I'm not excited about the Sixers. Another undersized guard. I am so down on this team.
Look,
wow.
And I don't blame anyone for having this reaction.
So down on this team, you don't blame that? I do.
Because we literally said yesterday on the air, to be real, we said yesterday we don't want them to draft another undersized guard because you already have 2 of those and you got rid of one. And they did again yesterday. But the way the draft board fell, are you going to reach for a forward? Or are you going to select best player available when you're not building to win now? Some people might still be thinking that they're building now. They're not. They're building for the future. And that's how I looked at this draft. When Mike Gansey talks about how deep the draft was, and when he talked about depth and needing scoring off the bench, that makes sense for the now. It makes sense for the future. Much like VJ Edgecombe's pick last year. It made sense for the now, and it made sense for the future. Ace Bailey would not have made sense for the now last year.
Anybody who tells me that they're out on this team for the future based on last night, I shake my head. What did you want?
Yeah.
You wanted them to build around and like do something to like capitalize on Embiid? The ship sailed, dude. The ship sailed. It's done. It's done.
Do you still have that text?
It's finished.
Yeah, I can pull it back up.
All right. Pull it back up right now. And I want you, before I even ask him a question, I want you to read the text. Tony Jones, who covers the Sixers for The Athletic, is on hold right now so he can hear us talking. I want you to read the text that John and I just reacted to as you were talking with Tony on the phone. And I want Tony's response because we've gotten a lot of this today. And I'm not surprised that we've gotten a lot of it today. So can you read the text again?
I am not excited about the Sixers. Another undersized guard. I am so down on this team.
Tony, good morning. We've gotten a lot of those texts today. A lot of people upset that it's another undersized guard. Your response to people that do feel that way. And good morning, of course.
Well, good morning to you guys. The text is inaccurate. Labaron Philon is an undersized. He's 6'4". That's actually really good size for a point guard. Now, if you want to say he has to get stronger, that's absolutely accurate because he's wispy, but he plays strong. and he plays stronger than he looks, which is why he can get the spots. You know, the Sixers had 2 playable guards by the end of the playoffs. By the time they got swept by the Knicks, there were 2 playable guards, 2 ball handlers, 2. It was VJ and it was Tyrese. And, you know, Tyrese and VJ both have heavy legs pretty early in that series. And you just need more guards. You know, you know, Oklahoma City won a championship a year ago because they had 1 billion guards. The New York Knicks had, you know, a bunch of guards, a bunch of guys who can handle the ball. And you're just not going to win at the highest levels of the NBA with 2 guards who are playable. So for me, Philon, to me, was I wouldn't give them an A+, but I'd give them an A, B+, A. And I think he was the best player on the board when they chose. I think that he is a player that if you look at other drafts, he goes higher than 22, maybe much higher. And he's a guy that the Sixers absolutely need, 100%.
I look at what the Sixers are trying to do, and there's a vision for the future, obviously. And it's a vision for building a foundation that's going to frustrate a lot of people. Does this in any way, though, allow them to, say, over the next couple years, make use of the 2 immovable pieces that they've got? Does this in any way accentuate them still being on the roster in Embiid and Paul George?
Well, I think the thing with Embiid and Paul George that people are forgetting about, I mean, you know, you say they're immovable, their contracts are immovable, and that's accurate. That's true. But they're still really good players. Joel Embiid is still one of the top 10 offensive players in the world. And Paul George, I don't think Paul George is, you know, a star anymore, but I do think he's still capable of being a star role player. I thought he was very good this year. And he can be a star role player because Tyrese Maxey is a star. And you hope and you think that VJ Edstrom is going to have a chance to be a star. So it's okay, you know, contract aside, it's fine that Paul George is the 3rd or 4th best player on this team if he's a star in his role. And I think that he was that this year. So if you're the Sixers, for me, in my opinion, you build on what you have and you try to, you know, go out and you try to win at a high level every year. If you, at this point last year, if we said, yo, the New York Knicks next year are going to win a championship, you know, the reaction probably would have been overwhelmingly no. So you don't know when it's going to be your time to win a championship. We've had 8 different champions in the last 8 years. So, you know, you go out, and I think that this is an area of the NBA where you go out and you compete, and you try to compete at a high level, and you try to compete to the best of your ability. And, you know, at some point, maybe the chips, if you're good enough, maybe the chips fall in your favor, and you can make a deep run.
Tony, the Sixers obviously drafted Philon, who will probably, I would imagine, start coming off the bench to start his NBA career, because I can't imagine you're going to have 3 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" guards to start. There's an open spot if you're just looking at the starting 5 traditionally right now. A lot of talk about, can the Sixers bring back Kelly Oubre? Will the Sixers bring back Quentin Grimes? What do you think the Sixers will do to add to that open spot? Do you believe that player is already on the roster?
I don't know if that player is already on the roster. I do know, you know, the Sixers have the mid-level exception, the non-taxpayers mid-level exception, which is a pretty good chunk of change. And I think with that, you can bring a starter in, or you can bring a significant guy off the bench in. And it's just about, you know, who's available and who the Sixers try to go and get. Like, you can try to go get a Kobe White, you know, with that, or you can try to go in and get a significant guy up front, somebody like a John Collins, who's an unrestricted free agent, who I covered in Utah, who, I think would be a really good fit at the 4 in Philadelphia. So you can go and do something like that. I think I would try to bring Kelly Oubre back because I think the 6'8" athletic wings don't grow on trees. And I thought that Kelly Oubre was really good, and he played really mature, and, he scaled up and scaled down in terms of responsibility last year. So, I would try to bring him back. I don't know. If I had to guess, my guess would be that Quentin Grimes will not be back.
Okay.
But that's just purely me speculating at this point. We asked Mike Gansey that question last night, and he said that, they got to see, in terms of which way that's going to go. But the Sixers have been in touch with the representation from both of those guys. CAA in the case of actually both of those guys. So it's just about whether they can come to a number where that suits both of those guys, and what the market for both of those guys are outside of Philadelphia.
Tony, if Connor does not get a rebounder, I think he's going to jump out a window here at Beasley Media. He's been begging for some rebounds, so there better be somebody on the shopping list that can grab some rebounds for this team.
Well, that's why I like John Collins.
I agree with you. I think that's a nice name out there. That's a nice option.
Would he wear the shirt of him dunking over Joel Embiid at his introductory press conference? Because that would probably be the coolest thing ever.
So we were actually talking about that. Whether he would wear that shirt.
That's awesome.
I would say it would gain him points here if he did, because it would be not running from it. It would be, you know what I mean? That's to be accepted. Don't run from it.
But Joel, the funny thing is, if Joel were ticked off by that, he'd be absolutely fine by about December, because John will make 40% of his threes, particularly from the corners, and he's super athletic, and he's a really, really good rebounder. Now, he can't defend at all. So that's the thing. But offensively, he's a pretty perfect power forward to fit with Joel and to actually fit with Paul George as well, and allow Paul to play the 3, because Paul hates playing the 4.
So, Tony, in your limited time being able to talk to Mike Gansey, now as a member of the Philadelphia 76ers, president of basketball operations, what do you believe is his philosophy on what he thinks wins basketball games? We know what Daryl Morey was all about. It was, let's acquire stars. He believed that veterans won in the NBA. We heard Gansey yesterday talk about how he liked having a bunch of guards in Cleveland. He obviously comes to Philadelphia with the, I'll say, anchor of contracts with Joel Embiid and Paul George. What do you believe in your limited time so far talking to Gansey is his philosophy on what he thinks wins in the NBA?
I think athleticism, I think, multiple ball handling, I think shooters. And, I think that over the course of the next few weeks, I think that you're going to see Mike try to bring more shooting onto the roster. And, there's so much that this roster needs. Like, this roster needs, a better collection of passers, needs a lot more shooting, and needs a lot more length and athleticism, and these guys that come in and rebound. By the way, it needed, another guard really, really, really badly. So, I don't know that you're going to fill all of those needs in one off season. But I thought that, last night was a really good start, because they really, really, really needed a guard. I mean, like I said this earlier, but they only had 2 playable guards by the time that Knicks series ended. And you just can't survive in the NBA with 2 guys who can handle the ball. So I would think that shooting and, a little bit more of an infusion of athleticism around Embiid will be something that will be a focus. And I think that, speaking of Embiid, I think Gansey has to bring another center on the roster who is both capable playing, of spelling Embiid, but capable of, doing a really good impersonation, not a really good impersonation, but starting when Embiid is not there. So I would.
Yeah, I never want to watch a Dembona play basketball ever again. If I'm being honest with you, Tony, it pains me to watch
Tony had to write the stories. You just had to watch.
It pains me to watch a Dembona play basketball. It drives me nuts. So you're speaking my language, man.
I'm a Jock Landale guy.
There you go.
I'm a Jock Landale guy.
There we go.
I would, somebody who can play when Embiid is not there. They just need an upgrade at backup center for sure.
Absolutely. All right, Tony, we appreciate the time, man. I know no picks right now. Are you expecting one at some point in the second round today?
I'm actually expecting Philly to try, but, you don't know how those are going to go because sometimes trying to get back into the second round, particularly the 30s, can be really expensive. So we'll see what happens. But I do think they're going to try.
All right. Thanks, man. We appreciate the time. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks for having me, as always.
There he is, Tony Jones from the Athletic.
He's excellent.
Yeah.
And by the way, the John Collins thing, I didn't even that had flown totally under my radar. I love that.
And I want him to wear the shirt. It would be awesome.
That's what I said.
It would be awesome,
I think you have to. He has to.
That'd be so cool.
And I guarantee you, Joe wouldn't care at all.
Yeah,
I think it would be the two of them would be
you know
fine.
It'd be cooler. Joe shows up to the press conference wearing the shirt. Like Joel wears it.
See, that would be funny as it goes.
Sick, dude.
We'll take this up in practice. Joe.
I don't think he's gonna wear it.
I think
it'd be awesome.
I think Joe would be extremely welcoming. And John Collins, I can tell you from the Atlanta time, John Collins was a very popular teammate. Very popular teammate. I think he fits in with the culture, creates that. I love that idea.
Let's make it happen.
I love that idea.
Let's make it happen. And somebody other than the Dembona.
Well, we've seen enough of that. Did you hear Tony?
Yeah.
I think Tony's seen enough of Dembona, too.
Yeah, I think, everybody
No,
has.
no offense, but...
With all due respect.
With
nice
all due
guy.
Yeah, you did.
Knockout. He took pictures with tons of kids. It was awesome.
And those Lithuanians, he actually loved the Lithuanians.
Yes, he did. The Lithuanians, they showed up that day. You're right.
Now he doesn't like Lithuanian.
Yesterday, a very random story that I will tell you coming up next. Speaking of a Lithuanian and basketball player. So I'm not talking about myself because that career ended a long, long time ago.
Please. I played a little ball.
Coming up next. Yeah, man, CYB. This is a very important thing to make note of. Not only did Labaron Philon attend Alabama, he is an Alabama native, which is an important thing to note. I'll tell you why next here on The Fanatic. All right, let's talk about that FanDuel Sportsbook app. Biggest stage of the world, World Cup. FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge, they're changing the game. This is so cool because, let's be honest, all right, a lot of us are 4-year experts when it comes to the World Cup. Every 4 years, we're experts. And every 4 years, people like to bet on the games, even though they really have zero information on it. In soccer, when your player gets subbed off, your bet typically goes off with them, but not anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with a substitute. So you're going, I know that Messi guy. I'm going to bet him. Odds are he might actually score. But if he doesn't, and they're up big, and he gets subbed out, and his replacement goes in, your bet stays alive. Now, you would still have it at the odds in which Messi's bet was, but the bet is still alive, so you just have to rip up your ticket. So if you're still in it till the final whistle, it's good for you. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. You got to be 21 plus in present Pennsylvania. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A wild win for the Phils. I'm Connor Thomas. The Phillies had a historic rally in the ninth inning last night to take down the Nationals. 14-9 the final. They went down 8-6 in the eighth inning and then scored 8 runs in the ninth. All 8 of those runs coming with 2 outs. Brandon Marsh and Bryson Stott both had huge homers in the rally. Marsh has tied the game. Stott put the Phillies up for good. Here's what the future All-Star Brandon Marsh has sounded like on NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Fly ball deep to right field. Woods going back. This game is tied. A long home run for Brandon Marsh. It's an 8-8 game.
Lost in the shuffle of all the offense, Jesus Luzardo also had a career-high 13 strikeouts in the game. Game 3 is tonight at 6:45 p.m. Aaron Nola versus Miles Michaelis, the pitching matchup. The Sixers selected guard Labaron Philon Jr. at number 22 in the NBA draft last night out of Alabama. He averaged 22, 3.5, and 5 in his sophomore season last year with the Crimson Tide. Now he becomes part of a strong backcourt with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, a young one as well. The second round's tonight at 8 p.m. Sixers don't currently have a second-round pick. We'll see if they trade into the second round. The Flyers are on the clock Friday night with pick number 21 in the first round of the NHL draft. This update is brought to you by Staples. Staples Easy Deal Days are here. Now you can score up to 50% off more than 1,000 products in store and online. Hurry into Staples today. It all ends July 4th. Staples, that was easy. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic.
You tell it like it is. And so
players on the market who has every opportunity in his entire career to come here and play and has rejected it. Could have found his way here on his own and rejected it. Would rather play in anonymity in the shadow of Disneyland. No. What it is the Phillies don't have it. You know who does? The Dodgers, the Braves, the Yankees, other franchises who are contenders that are right now, by the way, teams that are better.
First of all, starting the tweet with sorry Philly fans. Like, what are you sorry about? Like, what do we need to be sorry about? Like, the New York Knicks fans who looked like absolute trash half of this finals, and I know it's not all of them, half of this finals doing the stuff they were doing in the streets, beating people up, doing all this ridiculous stuff. That, number one, we're supposed to feel good for them? Or how about the fans that came down to Xfinity Mobile Arena and they chanted bleep and bead as loud as they possibly could every single time they were in the building? We're supposed to feel good for them? And then even if they didn't do any of that stuff, even if they were the greatest fans in the world, we're Philadelphia. That's New York. New York looks down on this city. They've always looked down on this city. They've always accused us of being a second-rate city. We're supposed to feel good? Oh, but poor Knicks fans. They've waited since 1973, and if you don't appreciate that, you don't like sports. Get the hell out of here with that. I'm not going to feel good for these ridiculous Knicks fans. Do you think those Knicks fans felt good for Philadelphia in Super Bowl 52? Were they out on the street saying, wow, look how united the city of Philadelphia is. Yay, Philly. Yay. Come on with that stuff. Get out of here. And every fan is coming at Sealski, and they're right. Like, don't lecture the city of Philadelphia. With what we've had to put up with from New York, we're now supposed to be, yay, Knicks fans. Like, I appreciate what Brunson did and Josh Hart and Karl Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby. Like, I feel good for the players. I feel good for the players. They deserved it. They earned it. They're a likable team. But to sit here and lecture the Philadelphia fans that we're supposed to feel good for the Knicks fans? Come on, Mike.
do that. Now, Andrew Salciunas has the day off today. It is not because of a clip that went viral from our show last week about Jalen Hurts. He's got regular vacation, but he was getting ripped because he said his number one question for the Eagles this year is about Jalen Hurts' performance at the quarterback position with the change in offense, Sean Mannion now taking over. What is your evaluation of that? Is that your number one question?
My number one question for this team this year would be if the offensive line can stay healthy and hold up. And it's not a very sexy question, right? Like, if the offensive line isn't healthy, we can't get Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens and Lane Johnson back to health. I don't care what plays Sean Mannion's calling. They're not going to have much of a chance. The offensive line has to be better. It has to be healthier. They've been the foundation of that team for so long. They've been responsible for so much success. We're talking about elite, all-time Eagle talents. So I don't say this in a critical way, but I say it in a way in which the offensive line has had to play through some injuries, and it's aging. And are they going to hold up and hold together? If they do, it's going to be a great season. If they don't, it's not. To me, that's where it starts.
Faces, check out youtube.com/975 The Fanatic Philadelphia. More of Kincade and Salciunas coming your way now.
The final hour of Kincade and Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to bagster.com.
All right, it is 9:30 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Wow, I was just alerted of something yesterday, just now, like literally.
Whoa.
The music was playing, and I forgot
What were you
all
alerted
about
of?
this. For those of you who care, my buddy Jack, best man at my wedding. Don't forget, you can pre-order GTA 6 tomorrow.
Oh, what?
I didn't realize it was tomorrow because this game was supposed to start 2 years ago.
I think my child has already. I thought she already has got that lined up.
No, John. This game was supposed to be start last May of 2025.
No, I know she's got this on her radar.
Oh
so.
yeah, no, she might already have the pre-order, but it is available for pre-order tomorrow.
Take my money.
So yeah, I know. I don't know how much it's going to cost. It's got to be what? It's at least 100 they're starting at, right?
Take 1,000. Don't
I
care.
think 119 or something.
Yeah, I don't see on their website.
I told you this before, right? I got lectured.
Yeah, I
at a parent event.
Yeah.
By another parent at a high school event.
Okay.
That my child was playing this. That I let my child, who by the way is like a darling girl.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
And I'm like, what the frick? Like that was bad parenting on my part.
Yeah, you're the
said,
worst. Dude, I remember hearing about it in church.
And I said,
as a kid, I remember
well,
that stuff, man.
This was in like right before 11th grade. And I said, you do realize in 2 years, you're sending less than 2 years from now, you're sending that kid off to a college campus.
Where they're going to be drinking alcohol and doing drugs and having sex.
There were many kids already doing some of those things, if not all of them.
Yeah, I'm
And I'm
sure.
like, you do realize these things are going on in life.
Yeah.
Like, are you living in a cave?
Some people are.
And I think that my response was not looked upon kindly by my wife as I told this woman to, like, mind her own freaking business.
Well, you could tell this woman that the standard edition costs $80 and the ultimate edition costs $100. It's actually less.
I
than
thought
we
it was one night. Oh, well, that's good then. Okay, good.
According to this.
Good.
All right. Real quick random story. Yesterday, my wife got a new car. Congratulations to her.
Congratulations.
It's so much fun. The guy, the salesman next.
You make it sound so much fun.
As I've had one car for 10 years. This is her like third or fourth. But people
Now she doesn't like destroy cars.
No. One was a lease. One got totaled. It was not her fault. It was literally parked, and we woke up the next morning and there was her car was on the sidewalk. That was all.
That's bad.
That's not her fault. But yesterday at the dealership, there was a guy in the cubicle next to us. It was just two of the salesmen talking ball.
Oh, no.
And they were talking about the Heat trade. And they were like, man, the Heat got Tyler Hero, Kel Elware.
You mean the Bucks got?
Excuse me, yes. The Bucks got Tyler Hero, Kel Elware, and some other guy. And I'm like,
some other guy?
Yeah, he didn't know Kasparis Jokic.
Oh, I thought you were saying Jaime Jaquez.
No, and Jaime
Jr.
Jaquez.
That's
Yeah,
what I was
sorry, he
saying.
mentioned Jaime Jaquez. But he said, and some other guy that I don't even know what the guy's name is.
You lean over and rip one real quick?
I wanted to. I almost stood up. We were in the middle of some paperwork, but I wanted to be like, show some
Are
respect.
you kidding me?
Yeah, show some respect to Jokic, all right?
Does she ask you?
Some guy.
Do you get talked to going into events like that to just, like when you're going in, like she's going to buy a car, like, okay, focus. Don't get into, like,
Oh, no,
like
she wants
we're here
me
to
to-
buy a car. We're here to buy a car. We're not here to, like, do that.
I'm the ass kisser, so
Oh,
that's
okay.
how I get the prices lower.
Okay, see, now I need Christina to do that.
I'm the ass.
I am the one who would go, the guy would come out and say, you like the car? Kincade, yeah, I love the car. It's $48,000. Done.
Yeah.
Oh, no, and she'd be like, what? No, we're not paying that.
Now, we're very good cop, bad cop routine. And I'm the good cop.
Wow, there you go.
All right, Alabama basketball. Not just the university, but people from Alabama, which is more important because how much do we talk about Jersey for basketball? It's a big hub.
Right.
Jersey, Philadelphia area for soccer, right? With the World Cup, there's Team
Sure.
USA. How about it?
Sure.
How about Alabama, people born and raised or raised majority of their life from Alabama that have played in the NBA?
Like Leeds?
It's actually a really, yes, like Leeds. Number one. Charles Barkley.
Yep.
From Leeds, Alabama. Ben Wallace.
Yep.
A native of Alabama, Whitehall, Alabama. Boogie. DeMarcus Cousins, Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile, baby.
Big Shot Bob.
Yes.
Hartford,
He's
Alabama.
awesome. He's awesome.
Eric Bledsoe had a solid career, Birmingham, Alabama. Gerald Wallace, who I loved.
I didn't know Gerald Wallace was Alabama also.
He was a
really?
Childersburg, Alabama.
I do not know where Childersburg is.
Nice this time of year.
Alabama's great, man. Connor, you would love the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail. You would love all of it. It's a public golf trail. You would love it.
You could chuck.
You Google that.
Could do that.
Sounds like
Google
I'm
that,
going
Colin.
down there to hoop.
Connor, you'd love it.
How about from Brantley, Alabama?
I know Brantley.
One of the best nicknames, the Rifleman, Chuck Person.
Okay.
The Rifleman, big shooter. How about DC rhymes with 3? Derek Coleman, former Sixer,
Derek
Mobile,
Coleman's
Alabama.
From Mobile also, yeah.
Jeff Malone, a Mobile, Alabama guy. Herb Jones, who has been He's this era's.
He's what?
Because the Sixers should the Sixers trade for Herb Jones?
Yes.
Zach LaVine. He's this era's Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
Should we trade for him?
Yeah.
Andrew Toney of Birmingham,
Yes.
Alabama.
Now of Marietta, Georgia.
Reggie King of Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
Damari Carroll, JaMychal Green, Theo Ratliff.
Wow.
Of Demopolis, Alabama.
What was Theo's number?
I don't know.
Connor?
Nope.
I believe 33.
Maybe. But there's a lot of Alabama natives. How about Sixers teammate, Trendon Watford of Alabama?
Well, I wouldn't have known that one.
I didn't know that either. But
That's a good track
Alabama,
record for Alabama.
pretty big.
Yeah,
I mean, you have like Hall of Famers.
One of those guys you named, Boogie, DeMarcus Cousins, actually talked last night about Philon.
Can we hear it?
We have the audio.
I think he dropped more than he should have, but I'm super excited for the kid. He gets to learn behind Tyreke Maxey. They obviously pick up some more depth as far as guard play. I'm not mad at the pick. This is an exciting player. I think he's going to be great in Philly. I think Philly will love him right away. He can fit next to a star, and he can beat a star. That's the greatness that comes with Philon. So I'm not mad at this pick. Good pick for Philly.
I can't believe, by the way, he impressed me on the air. He impressed
Who,
me.
Boogie?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's good.
No, I was shocked because I have not really consumed much of his content. He's very good. He was very good.
Yeah.
So that was good. I like the fact is that the Sixers pick got a lot of love.
Yeah, the dude was projected like back-end lottery.
It got a lot of love. So anybody who tells me that I'm out on the Sixers because of that pick,
it's too far.
I'm like that is a bridge too. And you know what? I know my man Tasty Cake Dom will get over it and we'll be right back on because Dom can't.
And and Dom is a man's man. He will say I was wrong if he was wrong.
Oh, yeah, and he will. But he'll be back on. Are you kidding me? Dom's not giving up on the Sixers.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't love the pick. Like we've been talking about it throughout the day. I wanted a forward.
Hey, what if John Collins is coming?
That's fine for this year. John Collins is not going to be here for the long term.
No, but what if John Collins is here for?
Here's the one thing.
Till you can draft John Collins' replacement.
Here's the one thing with John Collins. He picked up his player option, as you can imagine. Why wouldn't you? He's getting $26.5 million this year. I don't know if the Sixers can afford.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. If Tony's talking about it like that, and Tony has already had a long conversation with him,
sure.
That tells me Tony's already doing the groundwork on something that he thinks he might know.
Maybe. He also knows him from his time in Utah.
But I think he already might know that they're already kicking tires on John Collins. I would love to see John Collins.
Yeah, it'd be a nice piece to add to the puzzle.
More of a Tom Collins guy.
You get your rebounds.
Here's how you make this work.
A rookie to get my rebounds.
Here's how you make this work.
You can't do everything in 1 year.
He's with the Clippers. Paul George wants to go back out west.
Stop.
No, it's not happening.
You take Paul George. We'll take John Collins.
We'll throw in 3 firsts. We won't draft for the next decade.
I'm not going to do that. All right, what do we have on the Davis Honda text line? Feel the Davis difference. Check him out in Burlington.
All right, so we have more people checking in on the conversation on the pick. Colin checks in, says, one more thing on Labaron. He has the potential to be more of a scoring threat than McCain. I like the pick and personally feel like it was a steal. He was projected to fall around the 10 to 15 pick range.
Yeah,
he does have the projection to be more of a scoring threat.
Yeah, because he can create his own shot a little bit more than Jared McCain. Jared McCain, what the Thunder did that the Sixers, for some reason, could not figure out. They were able to get Jared McCain open off ball. I'm not going to compare him to Steph Curry by any means. There were Sixers fans that were doing that, which was ridiculous. But what the Warriors did for Steph Curry would run a mile sometimes to get to an open spot. They'd set 6 screens, and they only have 4 guys that can be on the court with him at the same time. The Thunder were doing that with Jared McCain. They were doing a lot of off-ball screens for him so that he can get an open shot and hit it. To his credit, he would. Whereas Labaron can be more of an isolated guy, too, where he can, in a half-court setting, make his own shot.
I was actually wondering last night if there was some way that McCain was going to get flipped.
They traded Aaron Wiggins.
Right.
So that's one guard off the books, but they drafted a guard yesterday.
And I said to it, obviously, they like McCain. They're going to keep him. I was always thinking that they were just going to keep McCain and then flip him.
It's still,
could happen. You never know.
It's June 24th. All right, you got a flight to catch, so
all
get
right,
out of here.
I will talk to you guys on Monday. You have a great vacation.
Oh, I'm out, so I'll talk to you
Have a great
2
vacation.
Mondays from
Connor,
now.
I'll see you on Monday.
I'll be here.
I'll watch you on The Price is Right. How's that sound?
Let's hope I win.
All right, Johnny, have a safe flight. John Kincade heading to the airport. Connor and I got you for one more segment. Question, how much will you watch? I'll leave it at that. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
I think it was the San Loquido piece that came out with Carson Wentz, and
yeah.
So there was a lot of defense of Carson. I guess what I'm saying is, independent of Carson Wentz, does it feel like the Eagles have Jalen Hurts' back after everything that's been put out there in the media and everything?
I mean, I don't feel like they've run the bus over him, but I do remember when the Carson Wentz article came out, they went into a damage control mode. I think they had Carson meeting with some reporters afterward to give his side of the story and clear the air. And I don't know if their reaction this time around is a result of that, like a byproduct of, do we really have to do this every time, because it's really not necessary, or if it's because they just don't. I don't think it's because of their relationship with Jalen Hurts right now. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think that they just. It's Philly. This is going to happen. Stories are going to come out. It's been coming out even before Carson. So you have like different people in charge now too. It's not Doug Peterson and his crew anymore. So I don't. I thought Howie didn't do the greatest job of backing up Jalen Hurts, but I also didn't think he was like rolling the. Some people interpret it as that's messaging from Howie. I didn't interpret it that way at all.
With Lamar,
it's changed. You're right.
But he's won the MVP and he's never made a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Lamar's not 25 years old, right? Josh Allen, as far as I'm concerned, needs to start getting criticized. Because if you're going to hold everybody to the same standard, then guess what, Josh, you haven't been to a Super Bowl. It can't be the team's fault every time. Joe Burrow's took a terrible organization to the Super Bowl, right? So Joe Burrow, just by going to a Super Bowl, kind of gets checked off that list. It's like, all right, you're not in the same. No, like Justin Herbert. What are we doing here? Justin Herbert's not in this rookie contract.
Nope.
Justin Herbert's lost how many big games?
A lot.
A lot, right? Is it all his fault? It doesn't matter if it's all his fault. It doesn't matter. It's the quarterback. And Justin Herbert, how many playoff games has Justin Herbert won? Has he? Has he won one?
Didn't he just win one?
I think he won one.
I know he threw a bunch of interceptions that one game against Houston. That was a loss, obviously. And then I think last year he was able to get a win, right? Let me pull that up.
All I'm saying is, at what point do these quarterbacks start getting criticized? Lamar Jackson's fair game. He's not winning the big game. That's a good organization. Now they have a new head coach coming in, and I like Lamar. The dude just needs to get to a Super Bowl. Period.
He hasn't won one.
He hasn't won. Are you crazy? And when people talk about Justin Herbert nationally, oh my God, Justin Herbert, what a great quarterback, what a great player. Even the one time we were talking about him on the air. After he lost the playoff game, it was like, oh, that's the offensive line. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
But like, where are the details on Jalen Hurts? The only details we worry about are Jalen Hurts. Lamar Jackson gets a little bit of it.
Philly Sports Talk, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
It is 9:47 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, baller move. I will say it right now. People will disagree, and I know you're just going to say, it's because you just like him. Get into that in a minute. But Connor, how much will you watch was my lead into the break. I barely watched much of last night. I think, and I'm sorry to say this, but you work in sports talk radio, and you claim that you love sports. I do. I don't watch drafts. I really don't.
Yeah, me either.
Like, oh, okay, they selected. Oh, okay. Like, I could just look at my phone.
Well, I'll tune in for the pick of the team that I root for.
Correct. When the Eagles are on the clock, I'm going to watch it because I also like to hear the immediate analysis. But there's like 7 different channels nowadays, especially with football, right? Like, I can watch ESPN's draft coverage, but then I also want to hear what the guys at the NFL Network have to say and the guys at Fox and the guys at CBS. I'm not a big draft guy. I don't need to sit for 2.5 hours. What time did the draft start? Is it 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
And the Sixers selected at 10:30. I don't need to watch for 2.5 hours to see how the draft board is falling. Football's a little bit different because we are so much more up to date on who these players are. But even so, like, I don't know. Do I need to wait 3 hours?
No, I tuned in for pick 19 just to see my guy Alan Graves get drafted. And I was like, I'm sad.
And then you were done. So, like, I'm not a big watcher of drafts. I really am not. I put it on because I wanted to see who the first pick was because that was, like, the only bit of steam that I cared about early on yesterday. And it was never going to be Darren Peterson, even though there was a lot of last-second stuff that it was going to be Darren Peterson. Will you watch any of today?
No. I mean, the Sixers don't have a second-round pick.
Oh, they might. They might get one
to
later.
Tony Jones.
They're gonna try.
If they trade up, then I'll possibly tune in for that selection, depending on when. But it's the second round of the NBA draft.
Yeah, I get it. We're in a time in society where we're always looking to squeeze everything and make as much money as possible. Hell, we have hydration breaks in the World Cup in the United States of America, sponsored by Powerade. Like that's why they have it. Like, get used to it. We will see hydration breaks forever in the World Cup. That's not stopping anytime soon, no matter where. They could be playing in freaking Antarctica. Like, they're going to do hydration breaks, coffee breaks sponsored by Dunkin'. Like, it's going to happen. So today, for whatever reason, somebody thought it would be a good idea to spread the NBA draft to 2 days when nobody knows. Half of the players that will be selected today are probably going to be Europeans that nobody knows. All right, it's why I laugh at people that claim they watched the Major League Baseball draft. Like, oh, you were watching the high school baseball in Memphis?
That one matters the least.
Yeah,
because those guys aren't going to be anywhere near your team for the next 5 years.
Or will never make it.
Right.
Because prospects stink.
Yeah, so I'll see who they get when it's announced who they get.
Yeah, I'm not watching a second today. I'm telling you right now. All right, ball or move? Jazz Chisholm yesterday. So, if you guys missed it, 2 days ago, Yankees second baseman, former Andrew Salciunas needs him to play center field for the Philadelphia Phillies at the trade deadline. Center fielder Jazz Chisholm plays for the New York Yankees. Did you see what he was doing on the field the other day?
I did not. Oh, wait. Was it with the dirt camera thing or no?
Well, that was the same game.
Okay.
Did you not see the other thing that happened?
No.
Oh, my man went out onto the field with a lollipop.
Oh, hell yeah. Do your thing.
He went out on the field, and not like a dum-dum. He went like blow pop, like with the bubble gum inside it, the double bubble blow pop.
What's wrong with that?
People weren't happy with it because that's not the right thing to do with baseball, and Jazz Chisholm's an eccentric fella, so, look at him just trying to get attention.
Bro, half the league is walking up with a full horseshoe in their lip of tobacco. Now that tobacco's banned, they're still doing it. They got a full lip packed and they're
tobacco
hitting.
Actually banned? That was just a COVID thing.
No, I think they actually tried to get it out. But
I think that was a COVID thing.
You're telling me the lollipop is where baseball fans draw the line?
There are some people that think this is a bad thing. But even Aaron Boone, after the game yesterday, was asked if he saw, or 2 days ago, was asked if he saw it. He said, no, I had no idea, but he was angry. Like, he got angry during the press conference when he was alerted of it.
You also have to understand, Yankees.
Yeah, I know, Yankee.
They're weird with anything that's fun.
So yesterday, Jazz Chisholm hits a home run and goes into the dugout, and there's the dugout cam. And he grabbed the box of the double bubble and just put it into the camera. Ball or move? Because this guy's getting crushed for having a lollipop at second base. Is it a weird move to bring a lollipop onto the field? Yes, it absolutely is a weird move.
How's that different than chewing gum?
Well, I guess it is more dangerous, I would say, with this.
More dangerous what? What's he going to take, a grounder to the chops? Like, it's not football. It's not basketball. They're not playing a contact sport that same way.
Now, here's the funny thing with Aaron Boone. He was upset 2 days ago, but he hits a home run yesterday, so he's asked about the camera shot, and he said the lollipop kid came through tonight. He can have all the lollipops he wants now as long as he doesn't take it out to second base with him. We're good. I think it's a baller move.
I agree with you.
I'm a big Jazz Chisholm fan.
I don't have any issue with that.
I know people think he stinks, and I know Yankees fans probably aren't necessarily thrilled with Jazz Chisholm, even though his batting average would be like third best on this Phillies team. Actually, he has dropped it of late. He's batting .230. Anyways, all right, what do we have on the Davis Honda text line? Field of Davis difference. Check him out in Burlington. A lot of Phillies talk today after that incredible comeback. A game that you may have missed in its entirety or the ending of it. I went to sleep last night. I was not going to watch that ninth inning when I thought they were going to lose after Orion Kerkering's debacle. And the Phillies score 8 runs with 2 outs in the inning. I missed all of it. The other example I gave you, not something that I chose to do, I missed the snowball against the Lions because I was stuck on 95 because of said snow. Also, your reaction to the selection of Labaron Philon. What do we got?
So Colby in Central PA checks in, says, yes, hand raised. I turned the TV off last night for the Phils game. I then angrily stared off into space, scaring my kids, having them wondering what's wrong with me. I've seen this movie. I'll root them on, but I'm not buying in on this team winning a World Series this year.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was reminded after this series of the Mets that they can be dangerous. It did not change my tune that I think they are not going to beat the Dodgers because I hate the way this roster is constructed. But when things click, they can still be dangerous, and it clicked in the 8th inning. Like that comeback happened with your guys. Like Trey Turner started the comeback by getting on base. Brandon Marsh had the big home run, and he's going to be an all-star starter in the National League this year. It then continued with Bryce Harper getting on base.
By the way, they put up 14 last night. I know, 8-run, 9th inning, without Schwarber in the ballgame because of lower back tightness.
Right.
That's been the engine of this offense, and they did it without him. That's even more impressive.
No, it's a great win. Now, you would hope that you weren't down 5-0 to the Washington Nationals at one point.
Yeah, and Zach Littell, who can't throw.
Yeah, that was bad. What the Luzardo game just confused me. My man's got 13 Ks.
No idea, dude.
But gives up 6 hits and 5 earned runs. That's a weird line to see.
Yeah, you don't see that often.
And at one point, he struck out like 5 straight. So he has a horrible blow-up inning in the 4th, but everything else was great.
I can't figure him out. I don't know. And he's a good pitcher. He's a really good pitcher. And he has high upside. But I have no idea day-to-day, inning-to-inning, what he's giving you. The on-the-road stuff is weird. It's like he just gets in his head sometimes.
Yeah.
And when he's not, he's awesome.
No, he's really good. All right, Middays with Marks coming your way next. Johnny Marks, Sean Brace. The return of Ray Dunn. Ray Dunn from the island of Jamaica. Could we now have 2 Jamaican wives?
Potentially.
Here at 97.5, The Fanatic. Maybe you'll find out next. It is Kincade Salciunas. Johnny out the rest of the week. We'll be at it tomorrow and Friday here on 97.5, The Fanatic.
You know the saying up the creek
without a paddle?
Yeah. I love how everybody's like, go get Mike Trout, go get this guy, go get that guy, go get Christian Walker. What the hell are you going to trade for him?
Well, then that leads me to my next question for you.
Unbelievable.
When you look at their top 10 prospects,
yep,
talking about the Phillies, Aiden Miller still ranked number 1, although he's hurt. And number 2, quickly rising up the ranks, is Gage Wood. Would either one of those guys be untouchable for you at this deadline if it meant you could get that impact outfielder? Would you trade Gage Wood? Would you trade Aiden Miller? Because here's where I am, Ricky, before you answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very concerned about the future of the Philadelphia Phillies, right? I'm very concerned that the farm system has been depleted. But at the same time, I don't believe it's going to be Gage Wood that's going to make or break this team 3 or 4 years from now. Because guess what happens 3 or 4 years from now? You got a lot of old guys on this team.
And
so you need to go all in now because it's your best chance in the next 5 years. If they don't go all in at this deadline and do everything possible to fix this lineup or fix the